Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tides of Death. We have a special show for you today. It is just going to be our two greatest heroes of the campaign, Archie and Saol, together on an adventure to Sulphur Island to do the gods knows what. What is up, you guys? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Neil. How are you?
I am doing great. I've got some food on the way, so I'm gonna have to dip in like 20 minutes for just to get to the door and back. But other than that, I am ready for some dungeons and some dragons.
Hell yeah.
Since we don't have our full parties today, I think it would be unfair to do our pirate facts. But
True.
let's get a quick reminder of the situation at hand. Why is it that we are going to Sulphur Island while I bring up some background sounds of the seas splashing around?
Yeah, Potato, why was it that we were going to Sulphur Island?
I think the main... I don't remember exactly, and you've kind of put me on the spot here, you prick. you actually got me so good there, I can't believe it. We went back because me and Archie were having trouble with our bonding of Rohi, where we were basically drowning on land. And so we realized we had to go back to the Dardanelles, because leaving it was not an option, because we were, having trouble. And while we were on our way back, we were going to have to wait for the captain, because a captain and Nilrum, because we couldn't get into the base without Nilrum, because he's the key to the base. So we decided to go drop off some equipment that we found to the people of Sulphur Island, which is kind of like that semi-tribal people. We found like their tower, and they had like a glinting thing on top of it, and they gave us like some poison. That's what I think we were doing.
Yes. And with us in the boat that you are bringing, we have a couple of NPCs. There is the navigator and the sailor Euclid. Do you remember who Euclid is?
I think the audience might need a reminder of this one, Neil. Why don't you refresh them real quick?
Yeah, that'd be great. Saol, can you tell us who Euclid is, please?
Well, he's obviously named after an incredibly famous mathematician for a reason, because of his incredible importance to the story. I don't actually remember who he is, but I'm pretty sure it's the guy who made a pass at me, I think.
I think that's right. I think Euclid's the guy who made the pass at you, and the navigator was it one of your... It wasn't one of your people who was a navigator. It was one of the navigators that you swiped off the boat, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, so we've got Hottie McHotpants, who is into Saol, who's coming along with boat ride, and we've got the well-educated navigator who's coming with you. Plus you've got drums, so you can sail your own boat. Plus you've got the weapons that you've taken off of this, and any other supplies that you might have needed or thought the people on Sulphur Island needed that the ship could spare. There was also the sergeant at arms that you took, right? You didn't want... Maybe she ended up going back to the main base. I don't think she came with you guys. Did she?
I think we took like a bare minimum crew for the sails.
Which one's the sails? Is that where you go, or is that where the big ship goes?
Oh, for ours, like for our
Okay.
little long ship.
Okay.
Because you need like a couple extra people for the sails.
Right.
I seem to remember like a level 6 person coming with us, but maybe I'm way off.
No, that's the sergeant at arms. Yeah, okay. So we've got 3 NPCs with you. We've got Euclid, sergeant at arms, and navigator. And the 2 of you plus the 3 of them is 5 total are going to head to Sulphur Island. It is going to be a few days journey. You have a navigator with you to help you get there. I'll have them make a check in secret, and we'll see if we just get to the island and have an adventure there, or if your navigator fucks everything up, intentionally or accidentally, and our party ends up on the wrong island. But before we do that, yeah. Go ahead.
Do we have the drums at this point?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the only way you're going to be able to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Before I make any rolls, why don't we just sort of hop into what it was like right after you guys depart? You push off from the other ship. You've got these 3 folks with you. They're all recently defeated and cowed. The sergeant at arms is particularly wounded. The others, not so much. And as the tall ship disappears into the distance over the horizon to the beat of the drums, the 2 of you find yourselves alone on a ship, outnumbered, but by people I don't think you fear or fret.
More like people that fear us, huh?
I think you need to count Archie like 4 or 5 more times before you consider us outnumbered.
Archie gets each arm and like a kick.
Every finger.
So, boys, you look around. Just 3 of you.
Is there? Would any of them have stood out to me as being like particularly good fighters during any of the combat that went on?
Absolutely. The sergeant at arms is like a 6th level fighter. She was pretty good. All things considered, she still wasn't a match for the rest of you, but she did handle herself pretty well. On the other hand, she is a very recently defeated enemy. I don't know how you want to play that. If that's too sketchy to try and train or work with someone who was just trying to kill you, or what?
I think I'd like to have a conversation with her. Was she? What kind of? Was she like fighting with a sword, or what was going on there?
Yeah, she was a swordsman.
Okay. I think I would just to pass the time while on the ship, I'd try to strike up a conversation with her about like, hey, how do you feel about armed versus unarmed combat? Try to get really into the nerdy, like nitty gritty of everything. Like, why do you hold on to that sword so much? Why do you feel like it'll help you? What's going on there?
It's the reach, she says. Being able to hold someone at bay with the tip of your sword, it allows you to heighten the escalation without heightening your personal danger. Drawing a sword and leveling it at someone sends a pretty clear signal that you mean business and they shouldn't get any closer. With your fists, you pull them out and wave them around. Someone might think they can take you in a fist fight, but you pull a sword, someone understands that we're really talking danger now.
So you're saying you're scared of your opponents every time you engage, yeah?
I try to live a peaceful life. Sometimes it's better to use intimidation or threats than actual violence, and I find a sword helps keep that distance, helps de-escalate problems by showing the severity of my readiness.
And I mean, look how far that got you this time. I just feel like people who hide behind weapons, you're automatically always at a disadvantage because you're showing fear to your opponent. Whereas if you walk up to them and you fight them with only your body and only what you have, that is, not only does that leave a different impression on them, it also brings you into a fight with a different mindset because you're using the things you have. You're not relying on some shoddy blacksmith's work to keep you alive. The only work that you're relying on is the work that you put into your body,
Her head bobs along in understanding. She'll say, that is the spirit of a true warrior, I suppose. We can't always afford such luxuries in the cold, harsh reality of the world, but in an ideal world, where one trained to fight simply for the sake of training to fight, where one was always... where it was always a test of wills, I could see where you come from. Fight like an animal. To fight like a raw person before Saol blessed us with tools and armor and weapons. I see where you come from.
I do use tools myself. I do like my brass knuckles here, but I feel like wielding those, they're so close to your skin, they're so close to you. It just feels different, It's just like I'm enhancing what I already have on me.
They're less of an extension of you and more a part of you.
Exactly. You seem to understand where I'm going. You seem to have the heart of a fighter as well. Would you be interested in learning the ways of the fist?
I suppose that depends what you're going to do with me. If I'm not long for this world, I'd rather spend my final days in peace.
I don't think you have it in you then. I'll turn away from her and continue drumming.
Okay. She will sit quietly. I believe on your boat is also James and Mary Beth, who were knocked unconscious and are being sort of just, I guess there's a tarp over them and they're hanging out with you. Your other people here, what's his name? Euclid, right? I should rename him Hot Euclid. Hot Euclid, hearing this conversation between the two of them, will find their way over to Saol and give you an up and down look. So, were you always here to sweep the planks out from underneath our feet?
He's talking to me, right?
No, to Saol.
Oh, sorry.
I'll like turn to him from what I was doing, and I'll be like, "What? If I swept the planks out from under our feet, we'd drown."
You took our ship.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I do. That's my thing. We take ships. Sometimes hearts, sometimes minds.
I see. So, he looks around. Not a lot of space on this boat.
It's close quarters for sure. Not a lot of room for privacy or anything of that matter. It's a cramped lifestyle, but you get used to it. I've been sailing on this thing for months. I know everything about my crew.
I guess you would get to know people pretty well in these situations. And the fact that I'm not dead yet means you want to keep me around? Was that a group decision, or did you vouch for me?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think we should kill anyone who, doesn't deserve it and could be useful or anything like that, I mean, like, if you made trouble, we'd probably...
Off with my head.
Archie would probably beat you up, you know what I mean? Like, this is
Yeah.
how that's going to work.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll, like, gesture at Archie, who's, like, probably a giant on this boat.
The guy looks over, gives Archie the up and down with a little bit of concern while he's, in the middle of a conversation with the sergeant at arms. Well, I'm not here to make any trouble. I would prefer to live my life. Was a sailor. I guess pressed into piracy is not the worst thing that's ever happened. So what are we rating?
You're
What are
a
we stealing?
volunteer.
Yeah.
See, that's the way you got to think about it. Now, in terms of stealing, we're actually here to do a good deed. There's a very bad guy. You know him? The white king prince. Him, that guy.
Yeah. The White Prince. I hear he's the great leader of the Dardannes.
He's a bad
Inspiration
guy,
to all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, basically, he's like a really bad dude, and we hate him. Like, we're bad dudes. No, we burnt down a couple of villages. We steal a lot of stuff. We stole your boat. You were there. And he's a bad guy. We're obviously bad guys too, but he's worse. And we want to get do some damage to him, get rid of him, maybe hurt him a little bit. So,
Well, just because you're a bad guy doesn't make you a bad guy.
hey, you know that you're right. Thanks. It's a nice thing to say.
Well, life is what it is. Back home, things are pretty terrible. Dragon armies, or not dragon armies, the armies of the cult of Barassi have taken over. Death symbols fly over every city. Large wars rage. Terrible magics are used. It's a pretty hellish place. That's why I'm like the seas. Get away from home for a little while. Visit these other lands. People in Arcadia are a bit weird, though. And there's that dragon over there and monsters crawling around. Dardannes seems maybe a bit safer. Not in the middle of the armies of death, not in the middle of dragons and demons, but somewhere there's just like a shitty ruler. That seems like a nice zone.
Shitty ruler is maybe that's like taking a baby step when you might need to jump a little. He's a pretty bad dude. He actually, I'll kind of briefly go over what we know about Sulphur Island, but like he attacked it with undead and stuff like that.
The guy's face grows grim as you speak of these things. I thought he was a cleric of Astaire. What is a cleric of Astaire doing with undead?
I'm not sure. Now I know sometimes people dabble in magics, and the gods' ways are mysterious and unknown. Like perhaps they have found some logical twist to the rules of Astaire. Perhaps like service and death is the most order thing and possible. I'm not sure how they pulled it off, but these people seemed like they were hard up, and we could use a few friends because every island is full of enemies. So we thought we would help them out a little bit. I mean, mostly for our own benefit, but if other
Mm-hmm.
people benefit along the way, not a problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, the guy seems satisfied with these answers, and seems a little bit more open-minded about the potential future here as a pirate than some of the other folks that you have talked to and tried to press into service. Um, he'll keep a quiet mouth for a little while he, reflects back on the nature of what you've said about the White Prince and the dangers he's getting involved in. Your navigator, in the meantime, will be busy setting his sights on distant objects, looking up to the sky and trying to measure distances to the horizon, occasionally asking a free hand to come and steady him or steady his instruments while he takes measurements. And with a natural 20 on the die, we will find our way to Sulphur Island without too much problem. It'll just be a few days there. And let's see if we have any interesting encounters along the way. No. Easy peasy. It is just a few days' journey to Sulphur Island. And our party will be approaching it from the north. So, as we get a little bit closer, it is up to the two of you to decide how to approach this. What would you like to do here?
I think before we left, did we talk to Nilrim and he said we shouldn't go up the river?
I want to say he said that.
You did
It seems like
mention that the river was pretty dangerous with lots of shallow sandbars and rocky outcroppings, and that it would take a master navigator to get the party through it.
Yeah. Well, Saol, I've always thought that Milram is more of a shoddy navigator. To be honest, I've seen much better on my ships back then. You know what? Back when I navigated on our ship a little bit, I thought I was doing pretty well. And really, when Nilrim says to not go somewhere, what does he really mean by that, Saol? We're talking about a guy here. We're talking about a guy here who kills children.
He kills everyone. I think when he says not to go there, I think he just wants to be in control. I'll kind of look around. I think he wants to take the captain's position, Archie, to be honest with you.
You think so?
Kind of. He acts like it a bit. I'm disobedient to the captain, but that's we're friends. I can do that.
I guess, yeah. Can't say I
I'm
approve of it.
just saying he makes a lot of demands.
He does. I will say, I'm beginning to trust Nilrim less and less, and if anything, usually he doesn't warn us of things that are actually dangerous. Usually if he tells us not to go somewhere, it's because something's in it for him, right? Maybe he's been here before and he hid something there?
Maybe. I don't think Nilrim is that untrustworthy. I think he just thinks we're all incompetent. He thinks we're useless.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Here's
What
the
do you
thing.
think? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this navigator doesn't seem so bad. We could take it slow.
Yeah.
We can go whatever speed we want up the river. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, we can.
we could take our time. And
Sweet
I don't know about
time.
you, Archie, but I don't like the idea of leaving the boat unattended out in the water while we go. Doesn't feel right, does it?
We've done that before and we ran into trouble.
Yeah. In
So
fact,
maybe
it's been our exclusive strategy up to this point, and
yeah,
it's
and
gone
I feel
wrong.
like, as good pirates, we should learn when, something goes wrong like that. We take the lead sometimes, and maybe we should try a different strategy sometime.
I like your thinking, and I'll point towards the river. It's let's go.
Let's go. Up
Are you
the
in,
river,
Archie?
I'm in.
Alrighty.
And
Our
also, as the captain's first mate, you know that I'm in charge on the ship right now. I'm technically the captain if he's not here. So, it's my call anyway, and I'm gonna say we're gonna go up the river, right?
Wait. I think it's our call. We both have a vote, don't we?
Well, we both have a vote, but I'm the first mate, which means that's the whole point of that position, is that when the captain's not there, there is someone who's, in charge.
I feel like ship's cleric could maybe be of equal rank. Like ship's wizard, ship's cleric, ship's captain. Those feel kind of like equal to first mate.
I'm gonna step up to Sail and put my big hand on his shoulder. I'm gonna look him straight in the eye. Sail, how many years have you served on ships? How many time have you spent on ships, rowing and working and serving under captains and stuff like that? What kind of experience do you have under your belt? Remind me real quick.
Well, I woke up on a beach and I've been on a boat for about a year.
All right, that's not nothing. Sail, that's not nothing. Well, I've been working on ships pretty much my entire life, and I'm telling you right now that the way that every single ship has worked that I've worked on was that the entire point, I'm telling you, of the position of the first mate, that is like the first line in the job description, is that you are the captain if the captain is not there.
Yeah, you've got a point. And I'll
I think so too. I'll remove my
I'll
hand.
acquiesce. 2 seconds. My rabbit is destroying the room.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. The party gets right up along the coast of this island here. You come right to the river. And our navigator will go to the very prow of the ship, lean over, and gaze into the waters as Archie pounds the drums, and I suppose Saol is the one actually at the helm, twisting and turning the ship following the navigator's instructions, or are Archie and Saol going to switch positions and Saol mans the drums while Archie mans the wheel?
That's a good question. I feel like at this point I would man the wheel because I just have a little bit more experience on ships, whereas the drumming doesn't require as much expertise.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Saol's on the drums, Archie's on the wheel, navigator's up front. Well, if he rolled a 20 the first time, it only makes sense that he rolls a 1 the second time. So our party will sail up the river, only to run into some very serious problems. We're going to take our first break quite a bit early, but we're going to come back on the other side with some serious problems as we traverse the river on Sulphur Island. So see you in just a minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Our party begins to sail up the river, and you get most of the way. You get so close. You get to the point where you can see the lake, and you're coming around, and just as you see the lake, you hear the navigator cry out something, "Starboard! Starboard, oh my God!" And then there's a sickening sound of crunching wood as the prow of your ship just plows into a rock, comes to a dead standstill. The rowers having the ship stops, they just vanish instantly, and then the ship, getting pulled by the tide, by the pull and current of the river, begins to scoot backwards, starts to list slightly, and then bumps up onto a very large sandbar in the middle of on the side of the river, bringing us to a complete halt.
Yo, what the hell's going on over there? What'd you guys do?
We've run aground on a rock, I think, calls out the navigator.
You think? What did you guys do to my ship? Goddamn fucking amateurs. All right.
What's happened? Can we fix it?
Yeah, you guys
Archie will very confidently start taking steps that you would normally take if you were an experienced ship, an experienced seaman. I don't know what those are, but we'll be taking those steps.
Well, you've already drifted back onto a sandbar, so your ship is not going to sink into the water at this point, but it is taking on amounts of water. And you can go over to the front of the ship and look down and see that indeed it's like the very front where your boards come together and hit the hull, the keel, and there's just like a big smash in and water's leaking in. And you know from your time on this boat that you can open up this hatch and move these ballast rocks aside and get out the appropriate tools to begin to patch this thing. But the positioning of it is pretty nasty. It's right on the front. Any patch you put right on the bow of the ship is going to be under like incredible strain. It's way worse than if it's on the side or especially the back of the ship. If you were not far from home, you could probably limp home with such a thing.
Well,
But since you're on this river, many islands away from home, you might actually need to repair this before you head out into the open seas. Otherwise, each day you're going to have to make a check, and if it falls apart, you might take on too much water. You might not be able to repair it on the go. It's in a really bad spot. Yeah.
All right, crew, listen up. We gotta take some steps to fix this shit. All right, you said. So, what are the limiting factors on fixing this up right now with some carpentry and some shipwright?
Well, you need some tools?
We have. Do we not have the tools necessary to fix this on the?
You
on the
have
boat?
some tools here, yeah, and you've got the trees around you, but you're also in the middle of this like dangerous jungle. Now, if you could have a nice secure perimeter and didn't have to worry about monsters or animals, and you had plenty of time, you could fell some trees and turn them into the boards and replace the things, but it would take you a while. And you do have some help here with these people. But if you really want to get this thing done right, you're going to need some additional just manpower just to like haul the ship out of the water enough that you can make these repairs. You can't really swing a hammer underwater very well. You're going to need some help from the islanders to get this shit fixed.
All right.
What do you need, Archie, to get this done?
Dude, I don't think we have the manpower. But we're in need outside help. We gotta talk to the islanders, man. The shit's fucked. What can I say?
The navigator, a man named Obamna, looks to you with his head bowed sheepishly. Sorry about that. I didn't see it until it was. These are dangerous. The color is so dark; it makes it hard to distinguish rock from current.
Fucking unbelievable first day for you, Obama. Seriously. This is the most amateur shit you could possibly imagine, navigating up a river like this, and I can't believe you fuck it up like that, Obama.
The waters are dark. Look how dark they are. What am I supposed to do, huh? I can't see through the water.
This is day one shit. Just pay attention, okay? Listen, it doesn't matter. We're here in this situation now. Okay.
Just you never go.
We need some people to go up to the islanders and talk to them. We need to get some people in to help here. Saol,
I'm bringing Obama. He needs to come.
I agree. He needs to suffer the consequences of this. The question is, do we go here and we leave the others here on the ship to watch, or do we send some people up?
Damn, that's actually a tough one. Neither of those are a great option, really.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I really don't. We haven't been with these people for a while. I don't trust to leave them on a ship alone, and I also don't trust to let them run off into the next village that we encounter. I think we need to split up, Saol.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a dangerous situation we find ourselves in, and we don't have a good option. What do you think? I had a good relationship with the town because they respected me and my knowledge of their god. I think. Do I remember that? Is that something that happened?
I feel like that happened. You know, we've been to a lot of towns, Saol. I'm not really sure. I don't remember what kind of deities everyone here prays to. But you have a connection to people like that. You know, in situations like this, as the first mate, it's my job to think, what would John do, right? John would probably go down to the town. He'd talk to the people. He'd probably talk to like 3 or 4 beautiful women, have sex with all of them, then come back with like 10 men that he all charmed into helping the crew and fix everything. Now,
Which John is this?
John Winters. Our
Oh, I
captain.
thought you were talking about a different John, because that sounds like a different guy.
Oh no. I was talking specifically about our captain, John Winters. Actually, I would say, since you have a good relationship with them, you
Don't bomb.
you and Obama head out to the village. You talk to some people. I stay here with the crew because I can keep these people contained. If anyone here tries some mutiny shit, looking specifically at you, I just look at one of the random people. I can be here to stop that. So I'll do what John does, delegate me to be the bronze, and someone else to be the brains. So I think you should go to the village with Obama and find some help.
Just because I'm a navigator doesn't mean I can navigate through a forest, he says. That's more pathfinding or survival. I don't know anything about forests.
I'll say, the reason you're going is because you royally messed up. And if wolves appear, or anything that looks like it's going to eat me, I'm going to feed you to them.
Okay. He gets it. He hangs his head. Sora, the sergeant at arms. Does she still have her sword? Does someone have a sword for her around? You did bring weapons, right?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's what we're bringing for the town. We're bringing
Yeah.
tools and equipment and...
Okay. She will walk over to the collection of weapons, making eye contact with Archie the whole time, and like slowly reach down to pick up a sword, sort of making sure that you see her doing this.
Well,
And when you don't intervene, she just straps it slowly to her belt.
she's good to go.
Yep, and sits on the edge of the ship, looking into the woods. Rain begins to fall, and in the distance you can hear the rolls of thunder from the ever-present storm all the way around the islands. Let's see.
Actually, Archie, should I bring her with me as well?
You know, she seems like a good fighter, and in the sense that if you guys get attacked by wolves, she could probably fend one off, but not good enough to, backstab and kill you together with Obama. So, seems safe to me.
Well, I think they're in a situation where their survival depends upon us. We could, tie Obama to her, and then,
Oh, I like it.
I don't know how untrustworthy they are. How big is Obama compared to this woman?
Let's see. Sora is a half decent fighter. She's not, the most amazing. I think she's like a 6th level fighter. She's pretty fucking good, right? But she's not huge. She's not super tall. If I recall correctly, her strength was like 16. Actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, she's got 16 strength. Obama's a navigator. He's just sort of like a regular dude. He's probably got around 10 strength. So she's probably about same height, maybe a little taller than him. Definitely larger muscles all the way around, in much better shape. Obama is more sort of sit back with his fancy cigarettes and, look at charts. And he's got lots of paper cuts on his fingers. And, yeah. He's
I'll
not
kinda
really a
like-
threat.
I'll kind of look them over and go, I mean, she's strong, and he's kind of dweeby, but I don't think he would get in the way in a fight if they were tied together is the problem, and I need a fighter.
We can't abandon the ship, and we can't leave people unattended on the ship. I really can't join you.
I'll bring her then. Her and Obama come with me,
All right.
and I'll take 5-10 minutes for discussion. I'll get a few supplies and stuff like that. Do I vaguely remember how far up the river we are?
Yeah. Where's our map? So you guys are almost at the end of the river. Like you can see the lake. You could see the lake from where you ran aground, and you've pushed back down the river a little bit ways, so you can't see the lake anymore. But you're practically at the edge of the lake, and you remember the encampment was over here where the other river feeds into the lake. So you would just need to circumnavigate the lake. This would be the fast way. or you could cross the river and then circumnavigate the long way. Which one do you want to
I
do?
think with the urgency of the situation, I would probably take the fast way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to make Obama walk in front with a stick. I'm going to tell him about the traps that are in the forest. I'm going to say,
What?
here's your stick.
But there's traps.
Yeah, there is. This is your trap finding stick. Good luck. Go slowly.
He looks
And then we'll walk
to
in single file behind him.
Sora pleadingly, and Sora gives him a shrug. We're pirates now, I suppose, or at least you are. Hop 2. And he'll take a stick and begin poking the ground in front of him while muttering under his breath to himself. Staying on the boat, we have Archie, Hot Euclid, and 2 more people, James and Mary Beth, who are the other fighters that Archie is training. So you've got 2 real fighters, James and Archie, half a fighter in Mary Beth, and no fighter in Euclid. Okay, splitting the party on the session of splitting the party. Who wants to go first?
Potato, you go first because I'm getting a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
What was the fighter's name again? The lady?
Sora. S-O-R-A.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Well, as you hike on this day in sort of the darkened weather, rain coming down, thunder and lightning in the distance, you come across some ruins rather quickly. Maybe 2 hours from where you are, you're maybe halfway on your journey around the coast. You come across this section of ruined jungle where there are these large stones that look like they were once stacked upon each other that have now like fallen over and been toppled. There's clear hexagonal stonework on the ground indicating some sort of road or patio or courtyard that used to exist here, but it's all clearly ruined and the jungle has begun to overtake the area. As you enter onto the scene from the top side of this, coming through like this spot way up here,
Sure.
your navigator Obamna will stop and look into the clearing and call back to you guys. There's a clearing, in a low whisper. It's a bunch of ruins. Come look. And he'll wave you forward.
Yeah, I'll move forward towards him and gaze out into the ruins. I'll take a couple of minutes to like contemplate this. Do these ruins look similar to the ruins I've seen on this island before, or do they look of a different age class?
These look maybe about the same age, maybe like 100 years or so, but they look like very different architecture. The stuff that you saw on the coast was more, like squared gray bricks, sort of militarized structure. Didn't have any of these like gentle curves or like rounded columns. This appears to have a more artistic or gentle nature to the architecture, not some sort of fortress abutting the sea, but some sort of like peaceful, wealthy, happy, secluded place deep in the jungle.
Yeah, what about, I believe we found some ruins to the goddess of the hunt. There was like a temple deep in the forest. It's different from them even as well.
No, it's actually very similar to those ruins. Quite similar.
Okay. I'll kind of like vaguely give a story. It's like, I think these ruins are similar to the people we know here where they used to live before they retreated to safer, higher ground. The only problem I have is the last time I was in a place like this, there were traps everywhere, and I'll like kind of gently like feel my foot forward in front of me, just like kind of anticipatorily. Places like this have started to make me feel uncomfortable. Dead places. Think about how I want to approach this. Uh, I'm going to take the lead of the party. I'm going to tell them, okay, we're going to have a little look around very carefully. You don't touch things. You don't bump off stuff. In fact, you should just like hold my hand and close your eyes at this point, okay? You touch something wrong in here, we could all die.
The
There
two
could
of
be
them.
something
Go ahead. Sorry.
like there could be traps hanging from things. We don't know what's waiting for us here. You know what? There could be nothing, and we could be being overly careful.
I
And then
swallow
I will
hard.
very kind of carefully make my way sort of like in this sort of a direction, like kind of skirting the edge, but not like close to the edge, and kind of just like trying to get a look at like, oh, what's this thing and what's this and what's that, and you know, kind of like just seeing around if I've seen any signs of recent movement or anything like that.
All right. We enter the ruins. Saol leading the way. Obamna in the back. Sora in the middle. And as you know, come over to check out this big thing, you get this sort of like hair rising on the backs of your arms feeling. Not about this thing in general, but just about this place. Like, your intuition is spot on. There's something a little bit off around here. This big thing looks like it was maybe some, you know, fancy column. Maybe it was the marker of a large pedestal, or maybe it was like the thing from which you would hang banners or attach like other architecture to. But now, you know, it's tipped over, and most of it is maybe this thing way over here is the other part of it. It's hard to tell. But it seems to be pretty nothing and ruined. As you move forward, though, this in the middle catches your eye. There's this fountain area. Not like a, you know, fountain that shoots up, but a pool of water that has remained fairly well intact. Stones around it, while weathered and dirty with the time, are completely free of vegetation crawling over them. And even from your position over here, even on this dark day, you can see like the water rippling on the inside, letting you know that the pool is very intact and hasn't spilled out anywhere else. It appears to be not perfectly still in the same position, but definitely the least destroyed, the most well preserved of anything in this region. How do you feel about this sort of creepy, witchy stuff? Do you want to run away from it, or do you want to go towards it?
There is a natural curiosity that we all feel when we see something unexplained, like a mysterious pool of water that kind of draws you in. Saol kind of sits more on the avoidant, paranoid side of things. So he sees this, and this is a trap. You know, that's some devious magic that, you know, if I were to get too close to it, it'll turn into a water elemental and like swallow me whole. Whatever strange machinations of his mind coalesce to like raise his suspicions about this. So I'm going to turn to the others and say, can you feel that? I'm talking about like the strange sensation of the hair on the ends of your arms and stuff like that.
Obamna shakes his head and goes, no, just the rain. But Sora gives you like the single eyebrow up and down, and says, yeah, there's something not quite right here.
I'm gonna like very, very carefully lead the party over here and kind of cut across here, just trying to get a little bit like of an eye on the pool, like just get close enough.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a dex check, because you are searching the area in front of you for traps, and you do come across one right around here. Let's just see how quickly. Perfect, yeah. There is a little, you step on something, you can feel the ground like give way underneath the front of your foot a little bit, and you can pull your foot off and take a look, and sure enough, there's some like old burlap tarp here with dirt and leaves and other things that have fallen on top of it, and just underneath it looks like it's built in such a way that if your foot presses, it'll fall into a small spiked area, and more spiked things will come up from either side, so you'll get spikes in the foot and spikes in the ankle if you step on the right spot or the wrong spot. but you have pulled your weight off just in time.
Yeah, I'll jump back and I'll turn to Obamna and I'll say, "You see what I'm talking about? I don't know if this was here to protect this place, or if this place is here to entice people in for them to die. I can't tell. And I'm going to inspect the trap, just kind of like looking like, does it look like primitive, like the ones I've seen before in this place?
Yeah, it's pretty rudimentary. The spikes are wooden. There's some sort of congealed substance on them that has dried away a long time ago. Maybe they were poisoned once, but they're old enough that if they were poisoned, the poison's probably faded or fallen off or gone bad by now. It's primitive in nature. There's no metal involved. The most complicated substance here is the burlap tarp that was thrown over it.
Yeah. Like, They put these traps in places that is sacred to them. Usually, at least last time, it was places that they had used to live. I'm kind of like pondering this out loud so the other two kind of understand what's happening. Maybe there's a reason to check out the center, and I will kind of like I'll ask for Obamna's stick that I gave him.
He hands it to you.
And I'm going to so incredibly slowly, like I'm walking like a snail's pace towards the pool, like Tahirish.
Yeah, you'll come across another trap right here as well, which you can disarm just by kicking the tarp away and smashing the stick underneath, whatever. And you can make your way up to here, to the point where you get to these like nice solid stepping stones that there's no way they could be trapped.
I'm gonna tap each one with the stick before I step on them.
I just told you there's no way they could be trapped.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm gonna tap them.
Yep. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap.
Every time I tap away, I'll take a step forward, like just. And I'm going to get right up to the edge of the water and kind of turn over my shoulder and be like, if something happens, run. And then I'll kind of just barely break the surface of the water with the tip of the stick. Like I'm only breaking the surface tension of the water.
Yeah, you break the surface tension of the water, and immediately you can feel like a gentle breeze. Even with the rain coming down around you, you can feel like a breeze blowing on the back of your neck. Something more concrete than just like your hairs are rising. There's actually wind pressing against the back of your neck.
And is it pushing me towards the water?
It's more coming just to the side, like tangential to the pool.
I'll turn around to them and ask them, can you feel that?
They're pretty far away. They shake their heads. Sora has drawn her sword all the way out of its sheath by now.
I'll motion Obamna. Be like, come to me. Come here. And I'll hand him the stick and make him poke it ever so gently as well.
He pokes it. Doesn't say anything about it, but you can feel now like the breeze is a little bit stronger and it's down on your hands. Well, just your right hand. It's like someone is breathing on you. There's a warmth to it, despite the cold rain.
Oh man, did I bring a detect magic? I didn't have it in my spellbook, so that's a no. I should probably always have one of those. It's like this, like a visceral part of me that's like, just like stick your head in and take a drink. But then, but I don't know. It's kind of spooky. I'm gonna find. Is there like a tiny pebble nearby that I could find?
Totally.
Is the water clear? Like I can see to the bottom, or does it go dark eventually?
It is clear, but it's like a dark day, so your vision's pretty limited. If it was a sunny day, you probably could see to the bottom.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna cast a light on the little pebble and just like drop it in.
Yeah, Yeah, the pool's not that deep. It's maybe on, 8 inches, 12 inches, something like that. But the area around you does fill with light as you drop your light stone. I think it's a 20-foot radius, something like that. So it's quite a nice big zone is now well illuminated.
Yes.
Yeah, like out to here, something like that.
I am going to very gently, like palm, just like tap the water with my palm and see if I feel anything.
You've been here, not here, but this general area before, and you've sort of interacted with some of the things of this culture before. In fact, last time you were here, you interacted with some sort of like a spirit of an old woman with a sigil of a geppa around her neck, like rose out of one of these holy places or something. And while you can't see any spirits around you, you do get that feeling of another presence nearby, something that you can't see in the vicinity around you. Your hand sort of touches the water, and it almost feels like something is like pressing your hand down, but there's clearly nothing there. And if you try to resist it at all, you're like, no, it's just my mind. I'm tripping out because I'm spooked, and I know there's spooks here, and so I feel like something's pushing my hand, but it's definitely not. Maybe the winds on your neck are just your anticipation and your nerves. Maybe the winds on your hands are just random breezes. How paranoid are you?
So here's like Saol's thought process is how he's feeling. Is like he's like, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe there's some like magical, cool stuff, or maybe there's some like religious significance to this pool, or maybe it's going to be bad for him because of the way the cleric ghost reacted to his thing last time. And so I'm going to take a moment here to ponder what my next step is. There's two... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
There's two thoughts running through Saol's head. It's like, did I find the Fountain of Youth? Is this it? Is this the place? Like, could this be it? Or Fountain of Eternal Life, or whatever it is. Although I thought that there was like a reference to something about the prince on that, so I'm not sure. Or maybe is this like a similar kind of fountain? Maybe there's some magical benefit from touching it or drinking from it, and I seem to be getting encouraged to put my hand in. So I am going to hold the symbol of Rohi in my left hand as I submerge my right hand in the water. Uh-oh.
Fine.
The rules check is never good.
Is this it? Yeah, you submerge your hand in the water, and as you do so, coming out from the water is a separate hand. And it stretches on this, like, column of water that does not resemble an arm at all. Just is like a column of water with an arm at the end of it. And it begins to stretch out, like 5 feet or so, until it's like at about face level with you, were you to stand up tall.
I'm going to immediately back away
Mm-hmm.
very quickly.
Abomna quickly backs away as well.
I'm gonna like do this kind of thing where I like move back and forth. And like when you say hand, is it just like in the air like this, or is it like
Yeah,
out
it's
like
just
that?
sort of. No, it's like this.
I'm gonna poke the hand with the stick.
Great. You go to poke the hand with the stick, and the hand will very quickly lash out at you with a closed fist. I gotta look up its attack and damage bonus. Because it is trying to strike you. Over and following rounds on that stripes grappled. Excellent. So the fist will make an attack roll at you. It is 5, I think. What is the bonus
a lot.
for? Oh, yeah, +5 to hit against you, and I would say that you are not fully surprised by this thing, but maybe a little bit like startled. Doesn't matter because a 24 is not only a hit, I believe a 24 is a critical hit on you.
If I pass a dex check, can I throw an bomb in front of it?
Unfortunately, that would have had to have been a ready to action, but I appreciate the efforts. And it will do 2d10 damage to you as
Oh my
it
god.
whaps you for 15 damage. The fist like smashes into your neck area and then sort of wraps itself around your neck area, encircling your neck. It has a grip on you. In the next round, it is already touching you, and it can automatically strike to constrict for damage, which will be different than the bludgeoning damage because it's now holding you and it's doing constricting damage. But we should definitely roll initiative. And like figure out how the hell you get out of it if you're held by it.
Oh shit.
Did you just accidentally kill me? I'm thinking about it.
You know, it's possible. But you have like 40 HP?
Yeah, for now.
Punching a grass creature, extinguishing fall. Only be. Oh, whoops. I might have accidentally killed you.
How do I escape?
You are automatically grappled by it. It holds its target with an effective score equal to this other number. Okay. So if you want to escape it, it's an opposed strength check. And let us turn on the combat music. And
Can I speak? As it has me by the neck?
it has you by the neck. It is constricting you. You can gasp out some amount of conversation, but not like you couldn't debate philosophy or anything.
Yeah, I'll basically say, get this off me and then run.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will begin to struggle away from this thing. I forgot to have my token selected.
Do we have We do not have a fist. We have a hand token. You got a 4. Obamna is gonna maybe just run. Don't I have like a statue of a hand? Maybe not. Okay, well, I will find an asset for the thing in just a moment. It will roll initiative on its own. 1d10 plus 3, I believe. Yep. Good enough.
Okay, I'm making a strength check. I'm going to make the strengthiest strength check that ever strengthened. When I think about all the times I saw Archie punch a man or break something, or do literally anything with his fist, and oh my god.
Wow. Wow. You fail, so it continues to hold you. Yep. It will go on 6, which is right now. It automatically strikes, and it will constrict for d6 damage plus 1 point per round of constricting. So in other words, it takes the listed, and second it takes listed plus 1. So just d6 damage this round as you try to like rip it off of you and move out of the water as it forms an impassable surface to you. Sort of like when you strike the water, like belly flopping off of a high dive or something, the water for an instant becomes an incompressible solid block. That's what it feels like as you try to get your fingers inside of it. It just is impassable. You will be choked for 6. Obamna.
Oh.
Yes.
By the way, chat can't see the rolls.
What? Why not? That's ridiculous. Okay, sorry. There we go. Thank you. Obamna is going to make a morale check because he is a scared boy, and he'll pass. He'll grab the stick, and he'll stand, and he will thwack the water with the stick. Huzzah! And the stick will pass right through the column of water and out the other side, doing literally no damage to it whatsoever.
I will hiss at him in like choked rage. Help me get it off, not hit it, you idiot.
He will help you on the next round. Our Sergeant at Arms, Sora, will come on over here. And she will go to help you. She quickly sheathes the sword, grabs onto you, and will try to shrug you off, giving you a second check in this round.
I get to just do another strength check?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to rule it. Still not good enough. You need not only to beat them, but you need a 21 as well, or 21 and to beat them. So with her tugging on you, nothing happens. No one goes anywhere, and it is time for the next round initiative. Oh, here we go. There's got to be a hand token in here somewhere. I remember.
No, make it a fist. It's got me grabbed. It's got to be a fist token, okay?
Can't find any hands or fists. All we have is a fisting Yakuza member. It's the closest thing we've got to a fist.
Close enough.
Oh, here we go. This is it. There, finally. Rawr. And it has grabbed you. Behind you? No, it should be in front of you. Perfect. And our fist will roll initiative. Our Obamna will roll initiative, and our Sergeant at Arms will roll initiative. What did you get for yours? 6? 6. Well, that does mean you go first. You want to break out. Now you have the Sergeant at Arms helping you. Obamna is also going to help you, and so you can roll me Her strength is 16. What's your strength?
15.
15, 16. You can go ahead and roll me as if you had 18 strength. There you go. And that's still a terrible roll. Can you beat its strength check? Yes. You can rip yourself free of the hand, and the three of you will stumble backwards as it takes its turn. It rises up from the water and will reach out to strike another person. And you, sir, are still the only one in range. 1d20 plus 5 is an 8. Whoosh! It comes smashing overhead, missing. And I think at this moment you can pull back and retreat, or if you want to stay in fighting range and fight it, you can fight it.
No, we're leaving. We're done.
Okay.
We our curiosity sated, paranoia reaffirmed. We're leaving. I will lead them through this trap that we kind of like area all like goes away. And there's no looking back. We're running. Like we're
Okay.
not.
The fist will reach out to maybe about 12, maybe 15 feet from the pool at its maximum range and sort of just hover in the air as the three of you make your way towards the edge. No desire to interact with it, but when it's clearly reached the end of its rope, can't hurt you
I'm
now.
going to observe it for a moment as I choke for breath. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is that thing? Well, I suppose I would play like Martha's Bane or something.
The two of them look at each other and shake their heads. I don't know, some sort of... Obamna says reassuringly, I think it's some sort of magic.
I'll like give him like the most withering look I can muster. Oh, is it magic? Is it magic?
Uh-huh. He nods, not quite getting it. I think so.
You better fucking kill him after this, dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna I'll pinch the bridge of my nose. I'll just be like, I just didn't need this today.
But why? Why did it come up? He says.
It came up because you crashed a boat in the river, Obama. That's why we're here, okay? There's a sequence of events that led us to this point, and that's why it's got up.
He shuts his mouth.
I'm gonna no, shut up and let me think, is what I'll say as he shuts up. All right, how do we deal with this? What do we do? And I'll just like look around, like we can just leave. Did we see anything valuable here? Did we need to kill this?
Literally nothing of value. And when you mention we can just leave, Sora, with you, will nod her head and say, yes, I think that's a good idea. There's no need to fight.
And I'll just like stand up, like dust myself off and try to brush the water out of my clothes that touched me. And I'll be like, you know what? A better man than me said discretion is the greater part of valor. Let's get the hell out of here.
And with that, you can quickly flee the ruins, make your way back along the edge of the lake until you can see that distant village on the other side of another small river. If you remember, there's a small river between you and the other side of the lake where you have met the villagers in the past. Let's drag us over here. Yeah. It is on this side of the lake. The bottom right side of the lake is where the bottom right side of the river leading into the lake is where the camp is. So you can make your way along the river, along the lake, right next to the giant tall cliffs. You will not see much in the way of animals today. It's raining. Everyone is sort of hanging out in home. There are some birds hanging about or, sheltering each other with their large wings, but no mammals, no monsters, none of those scary things. You vaguely recall hearing about trolls or maybe seeing a troll in the woods once upon a time, but apparently they're avoiding the dark and stormy days. And so you make your way.
If I saw a troll, Obamna is troll food, okay? At this point. In fact, I'm considering if Sora kills him, I will actually just let her go.
You can make your way to the ruined village over here and find it. We're going to take our first break as you get to the ruined. Second break as we get to the first village. And when we come back on the other side, we're going to see what Archie has been up to with the ruin, with not the ruins, but the wreck of the ship. So see you on the other side of a break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Archie, the rain is falling. Saol walked away with Obamna, Sora, and leaving you with Euclid, Mary Beth, and James. All around you, you can feel the gentle rain, the distant thunder, the occasional flash of lightning on this otherwise ordinary day here. Perfect. As the others leave, you look about, and you know what needs to be done. You're going to need to get the boat in a place where it's all the way out of the water so you can get to the repair section, but you're going to need more arms for that. Like, you're a strong man, but this is a heavy fucking boat, and to pull it all the way up on shore is going to need some work, especially given the conditions. You're also going to need some lumber. Luckily, you have axes and saws and the tools with which to produce planks, if only you can fell a couple of good trees. And hey, look, there's a jungle out there. There's trees around. You can find some trees. And it's going to take a while for Saol to go get help and bring back, probably a day, maybe more. Maybe a couple days. It took you like 4 days to get all the way up the mountain to where they were last time. So you're going to be here for a while. So you're going to need some sort of like rudimentary shelter. You know, your boat, you can stretch a tarp over the top and make some shelter. But the angle of the boat as it's like set on the ground, you'd kind of be sleeping on an angle, and that's just awkward. So how would you like to... What are your priorities in your eyes?
Well, what is it? Most important thing is always shelter, right? Well, most important thing is water, but we're at a river, so that's fine. So we got that covered. I think shelter is a good idea. The way that the ship's not really on the shoreline, right?
Right, it's on like a sandbar underwater.
That's tough. Well, honestly, it sounds like for everything that we need to do, we need to start chopping wood, both for shelter and repairing the ship. So I think the first thing I do is gather the crew and start chopping down some trees. Try to get them all off. Wade to the shoreline, and I'm assuming we can wade through the river to the
Easy
shore.
peasy,
right? Yeah. Wade at the shoreline and just go to the trees that are close to the shore and start chopping some down.
Yeah. A bunch of trees here. There's a nice sturdy oak nearby, which would be perfect for your planks. And judging the size of the distance, you'd really only need one good tree. So you set to work with axes, whap, thwap, thwapping away at the tree.
I think also if we were to set up shelter, we would do it like you said. We have a tarp, right? Do the traditional thing of like setting up like a rudimentary shelter between two trees that are like pretty close by, right? Maybe kind of look at the wind's pretty stable in this place, so know kind of where the wind direction is, and kind of finding two trees that are angled properly so that the tarp would like protect from the wind and stuff like that, and if there was rain, it would protect from the rainfall. So I guess we would do that.
As you're
commanding people around to do that.
Yeah, as you're ordering this person to do that, and you get a couple of folks working on the thing, on cutting down the tree, it really only takes two people at a time. You start ordering around the third person to go grab a tarp or whatnot. Euclid, over by the tree, gives like a gasp, and you can hear the sound of his axe clattering to the ground as it smacks on roots and stones below. And throwing a look, you can see both Euclid and, let's say, James was working on the tree, have backed away with their hands sort of like up in the air in a surprise look. You can't see what it is that they're surprised by. It must be on the other side of the tree because they're on either side taking turns. But they both dropped their tools and are backing away. Pseudo captain, captain in command, first mate Archie.
What's going on? What the fuck happened now?
Stepping out around a tree is a strange looking creature. Looks something like this.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't get it to not. Ugh.
I can see it.
Right. Yes, it is a shortish woman, about 5 feet tall, with long pointed ears, very similar to that of an elf, but not quite the same. There are shapeal differences between them. Her forehead's maybe a little bit taller as well, and also she's got like grasses and blossoms either like stuck in her hair pointed upwards or like literally growing out of her scalp, like little wildflower meadow scene coming out of her hair. Her arms.
I've seen this kind of creature before, right? We ran into some of them at some point, I feel like.
Yeah. You did run into some of these things. That time those crazy bears with red swirling eyes attacked you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this creature steps forward and looks around and says in an accented voice, please stop.
But please stop what?
Please stop chopping down my home.
Here. Do you live in this tree?
She, puts a hand on one side of the tree and like walks through the tree as if the tree wasn't there. Like as she steps into the tree, she sort of steps out the other side of the tree, as if the tree was like a infinitely small space.
I'm very taken aback by this. Well, what the fuck? Oh wait, I look around. Did you guys see that? Did she just step through? Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is it? All right. I guess they do that. Listen here. So we are stranded here. I'm talking slowly because I heard that she has an accent. We are stranded here. We listen. We need shelter, okay? We need wood to repair a ship. We get the hell out of here. The alternative is us staying here forever and chopping down more of your home. But if you can spare a tree or two, we'll be on our way shortly.
I don't know how rich you are, but I only have one house.
Can't you just move to another tree? There's I see a lot of trees here. I'm assuming not every single tree has one of you guys living in it, right?
Not all trees are fit for me. Have we decided how attractive Archie is? Have you rolled or decided on a hotness score?
Yes, he has 11 hotness.
Okay, we need to roll for James. Why don't you roll me 3d6 for James's hotness, please?
Absolutely. Sorry, that was 3d6, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled 3d5.
9.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
There you go.
10. Okay, not great. And for I think we already rolled Hot Euclid's hotness. I don't remember what it was, but why don't you re-roll it at 4d6d1? That'll roll 4 6-sided dice and drop the lowest of them all, to give it a slightly more advantageous roll.
Tell me again what I need to roll. So sorry.
4d6d1.
Mm-hmm.
4 6-sided dice, drop one of them.
Do I just type in 4061?
Yep. No spaces. Oh yeah. Hot Euclid definitely has earned the name Hot Euclid. She looks to the 4 of you, noticing Mary Beth in the ship, and turns directly towards Euclid and says, I can give him shelter. And then you'll notice she takes some time and begins to draw some sort of symbol in the air in front of her. Now, Archie, you're not maybe the most wise or perceptive or well-educated of the party. But you've been around enough magic to know when someone is fussing with magic. And this woman is clearly drawing some sort of magic symbol in the air to cast some sort of spell.
Hey, whoa. Let's calm down here for a second. What do you do? Chill out. Okay, we can talk about this, all right? I look around to my crew.
They're all standing sort of confused as she continues to draw the symbol in the air.
I'm fucking attacking her.
You're gonna do it. You're just gonna run up and strike at her.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
gonna
I
run
need
up
you to
and
roll me an initiative roll. And she will already have started casting the spell, so I will give her. I'll just remove the casting time and give her -1 to her die roll. Her spell.
Can chat see the rolls yet? I think people are seeing I can
Yes,
see
yes.
the
Here
rolls.
we go. Here we go. Thank you. Sorry. She will get her spell off. She'll finish it before you get to her. Nothing really obviously happens at first. No fire bursts anywhere. No one starts grasping or squeezing at themselves. But she will turn to you as you come menacingly towards her, and she'll like put up a hand in sort of like a self-defense, like do you want to continue with the attack? Her spell has finished.
I will grab her wrist.
Go ahead and give me a roll to hit against her wrist.
Just a normal attack roll.
Yep. Easy peasy. You grab this like slender, thin wrist in your hand. It feels, she's 5 feet tall, but on top of that, your wrist just feels kind of small and fragile. You get the impression like you could break it fairly easily if you wanted. And she will cry out a little bit. Ow! Stop!
Yo, what's up? What are you doing here? You can't just like start casting magic at people. Freaks my crew out. Okay, chill out. What's going on? What are you doing?
You wanted shelter. I'm giving one of your men shelter, she says, and with her free hand like beckons towards him. And Euclid, casually walks over to her and looks at you and goes, Captain Archie, fake Captain Archie, she's not dangerous.
Well, I'd appreciate if you talked to me and told me that you were what kind of spell you were casting before you just started. It's a dangerous land out here, okay? I've seen a lot of people casting spells and killing people, all right? I don't know what you are, what your agenda is, so what are you doing? What's going on? You say you're giving someone shelter? What does that mean?
Well, I can't take him with me without first making him ready, she says.
Taking him... What does that mean, taking him with you? Like, in the tree, or...?
She will nod her head once in affirmation.
I'll pinch my nose. Okay. All right. Listen. That sounds good. If you want to help us get shelter, that sounds great. Euclid is your name, right? Why don't you go with this young lady and report back as to how the shelter situation is.
Sure thing, boss, he says. Do you let go of her wrist?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He will reach out and take her hand, and they'll interlock some fingers, and she will guide him towards the tree and step in and pull him in after her.
That was pretty weird, wasn't it, guys? All right.
James looks horrified.
Stepping out of the tree.
Captain?
I'm sure they're fine.
Mary Beth comes over with the tarp in her arms.
Well, I guess we'll we will hang out and wait for them to get back. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's gonna be my decision as a captain. We will hang out, wait for them to get back, and why don't we look at some other trees to maybe put that tarp up? Those two over there instead look fit, right?
James will put an axe over his shoulder and grab some rope and go with Mary Beth and begin to string up a tarp over between two other trees to create a shelter while you hang out and watch the tree.
I'll shout for them. Euclid? Tree lady?
And just the rain falling down through the jungle. Droplets splashing off of leaves onto the puddles on the floor. No response from the tree or the dryad or the Euclid.
I will knock on the tree as if it were a door. Hello?
The lean-to gets finished. The other two come over. Still no reply from the tree.
I'll walk around the tree to inspect it.
Yep. They're just gone.
I mean, listen. If so, if someone asks, well, wait, that guy was our navigator, right?
No, it was just a,
Oh no,
a
no,
volunteer.
was the navigator. I'm sorry. Euclid was the. What was his job again?
He was just a volunteer who was eager to work with you guys.
A volunteer was eager. Okay.
His job was
well,
hitting on Saol.
Yeah, I mean that's that's fair. Well, it seems like worst case, we have one less guy to help out, and best case, he found a new girlfriend. It seems like there's not much we can do about the situation. So we got the shelter set up over there. Is that what's going on?
They nod. Uh-huh.
Okay, so we got the shelter.
Should we fell another tree instead?
Yeah. Probably felling a different tree is probably a good idea.
They bob their heads and walk over to another tree, get your approval on it, and then begin thwapping at it down.
All right. So, have you guys ever seen a creature like this come around? Do they really like come back? Is that?
Mary Beth will speak up. The old woman in our village used to tell stories about the fey creatures that lived in the deep jungles. She said that, yeah, like those things. That there were nymphs and dryads and pixies and sprites and elves and whatnots. They always said that they were disarmingly dangerous.
Disarmingly dangerous. I mean,
like trickster spirits that will beguile you or trick you into doing something, and when you think you're resisting what it is that they want is actually when they've got you the most.
Well, I mean, we weren't resisting, right? We just gave her what she wanted, and our boy Euclid seemed happy to go. So I feel like we're gonna be fine. I'm just to be safe. If there, guys, executive decision from your captain here. If there's another fey creature that pops out of a tree and asks you to come with them,
I'm gonna say no.
Please confirm that decision with me first, and then we can talk about it more. It seems like Euclid here is maybe not coming back, so I kind of want to keep the party together at this point. So if we could not do that from now on, that'd be great. Everyone on board with that decision? Any thoughts, questions about that?
James speaks up. I have no idea why he went with her. That was mad. Why would someone just walk into a tree with a weird meadow head lady?
Well, I also don't really know what was going on there, but listen, he seemed very enthused about it, and who am I to question a man to go with a beautiful woman? That's one of the things that my captain taught me personally.
She's no woman, sir. It's an elf.
Well, potato at this point. What I'm saying is, like, I mean, like, we all have different tastes in women, right? And whatever color or shape they come in. I'm not really here to judge for that. So, anyway, if Saol asks where Euclid, can we get our story here straight that he
walked into the trees?
Yeah, he walked into the tree. He made that decision completely on his own, and we weren't really involved with that at all. He just kind of went for it. Are we on board with yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, well, we got our shelter set up. We got the tree felled. I think it's time that we start making some boards, some planks out of the tree at this point here, and
Yep, they'll take axes and hammers and chisels and go to taking the felled tree and chopping off its branches and getting the right length and cutting it down, and then making some planks and getting to work on that. The rain makes it a little bit harder to do all of this, and so the going is kind of slow. Luckily, same with Saol, there's no monsters around to get in your way. But after a few hours, I would like you to roll me a 1d20, please. And James will roll a 1d20, and Mary Beth will roll a 1d20.
All right.
Oh, Mary Beth rolls the lowest. You will hear a cry from Mary Beth after a few hours, hey, they're back! And you'll see her looking up in the direction of that same oak tree. You, at this point in time, you must be near the ship, like attaching a rope or a chain to the prow of it and tying it to a tree, just in case the tides change or the river water changes, it doesn't like wash the ship away from you. And you can see Mary Beth staring at the tree as like a hand comes out of it, drawing shapes in the air in front of the hand.
It's just her. It's Euclid's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, all you really see is the hand coming out of the tree. It's at like a 3/4 angle away from you, so maybe the creature's pressed all the way against the tree, but it's probably like halfway out of the tree, or just the hand is sticking out of the tree.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over there and grab the hand by the wrist.
Yeah. You'll get over there just as like the hand begins to finish its things, and I think if you, as long as you don't roll like a 3 or something, make me an attack roll, the creature, you're gonna have huge benefits. Yeah, easy peasy. You get your hand wrapped tightly around the wrist as the hand finishes its symbols, and it goes sort of limp in your grip.
I will attempt to yank her out of the tree.
Excellent. You give a 1, 2, 3 solid yoink and give me an opposed strength check. Easy. You yoink the creature out of the tree, and the two of you come tumbling down to the ground. She'll let out with an ow, ow, hey, that's unnecessary.
Well,
Ow!
listen, this is the same woman that we saw before, I'm assuming.
Yeah, close enough. Looks pretty much the same.
Yeah. Hey, so, sorry, what did you say your name was?
You couldn't pronounce it. You can call me Meadow, though.
Meadow. Okay. Listen, Meadow. I feel like we had a conversation earlier about like not casting spells before talking to people because, I went on a whole thing about how there's people trying to kill other people with spells out there and stuff like that. Makes people pretty uncomfortable when you're out here casting spells.
I'm so sorry. I thought you understood what I was doing after I explained it to you. I thought we had come to trust each other.
Well, kind of, but you have to understand that us common folk, we don't really understand, like we can't really tell one magic spell from another, so just seeing you cast like a spell, that doesn't really tell me that you're doing what you were doing earlier. And also, last time you cast a spell, you kind of disappeared forever with one of my men, which, by the way, where's Euclid? What's he doing? What's he been up to?
He's resting gently in the realms beyond.
You're kind of making it sound like you killed him.
No, I would never dampen his light in that way.
Okay, so
It's hard for you maybe to understand without seeing it yourself. There are other realms between which my people can walk. I have simply taken him there to rest for the time being, and I will bring him back when it is time.
so when is that? When is it going to be time?
I thought you knew.
As time to what?
Well, you needed shelter until end of time.
Until our boat over there is fixed back up and we can leave, yeah?
Then I'll bring him back when the boat is fixed.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a fair deal. Honestly, yeah, it's just whatever he feels comfortable doing sounds fine to me. I'm not necessarily like...
Yeah, she like
not
gets
exactly...
up a little bit off the ground and sort of sits instead of like the two of you being toppled over on top of each other. She'll cock her head slightly to the side and say, You have an aura of something around you. I can't quite place it. It's not fear. It's maybe a fear of fear? A fear of the unknown?
Confidence or, pizzazz is what some people would say, or maybe a certain presence of I think
Yeah,
confidence is a great way to describe it, right? Yeah, you would say I'm a pretty confident looking guy, right? I got yeah.
certainly. But I
Yeah,
sense an avoidance around you, a deep-seated resistance to something. What is it that you were running from? Or
well,
trying to
Meadow,
overcome?
I'll kind of look around. The crew's like standing around me right now.
Mary Beth is sort of staring at Meadow a little bit bizarrely. James is 20 feet away or so by the shelter with an axe in his hands, and he's not sure to raise it or lower it, but he's just kind of keeping it aside and keeping like a distance.
Mary Beth, why don't you take James over there and you guys go look at the damage on the ship again for me, and help with whatever's going on over at the ship for a second. I'll handle the situation from here as your captain.
She squirrels away with James and goes over to look at the damaged ship. Meadow looks back at you.
Well, listen, Meadow. There was a so something happened a while back where I was, helping my crew, helping my friends. We were in a fight, and suddenly I got super scared. For some reason, I don't know what happened. I got frightened for my life, and I ran and abandoned my crew, which I know. Yeah, it's really bad.
That must have hurt a lot.
Yeah, it kind of did actually. Yeah, it's pretty important for me. I think it's important in general to protect your crew like that.
And you with so much confidence to be overwhelmed by such a strong feeling. That must have shaken your faith in yourself.
Yeah, you could say that. That's probably true. Yeah.
But maybe my understanding of the common language is minimal, or perhaps you're speaking oddly, but you use the past tense with these things, that you were this way, that something changed.
Yeah, I I talked to someone, and they assured me that I would never be afraid again like that. And I kind of took that to heart, and I don't really want to be afraid like that anymore. So I think from now on, when I get into a situation like that, I'll try to I don't think I'll abandon my crew like that again. It's
Something has taken all your fear?
well,
Has
I haven't
taken
been
it from
afraid.
you?
I haven't been afraid since.
What do you think the other side of fear is?
Courage.
She shakes her head.
Like
Maybe.
for example, my captain back, who's not with us right now, which is why I am kind of in charge of the whole situation. He Captain John Winters, you've probably heard of him. He's a pretty well-known guy. He's very, very courageous. And he's helped us through a lot of situations by being courageous and getting into situations where he's navigated his crew through tough times by not being afraid, but by stepping up to his fears.
So why would you throw away your courage then?
I don't think I did I? What do you mean?
Well, all feelings are a spectrum. On one side, you have one. It's like happiness and sadness are opposites, but they're the same part of the spectrum. If you remove the ability to feel sadness, you also remove the ability to feel happiness. You crunch down both sides and are left in the middle with no range. If you have had your fear taken from you, then whatever the opposite of fear is should equally have been crunched and taken or suppressed within you. That's why I ask, what is it, Archie, that is the opposite of fear?
I don't remember telling you my name, so that's kind of weird. But I think so. I think what the person who told me about getting rid of my fear was that I'll never be afraid again. And if you're never afraid, does that just mean that you you will encounter situations with bravery? Wouldn't that be what happens?
Fear is not always a bad thing.
Well, you
Fear
say
lets
that.
us know when things are wrong, when things are bad. Without fear,
Mhm.
wouldn't you never know when to stand down? Wouldn't you fight even the toughest and scariest of creatures that could certainly kill you because you don't have a sense of when to fight and when to flee?
Well, I would say that there is not really a creature or someone out there who could just certainly kill. I feel like if I just have enough, if I believe in my crew and my abilities and my body enough, I can take on pretty much anyone.
Maybe it's
I've
already working then.
I've killed a dinosaur before, actually.
How tragic.
One hit, I think it was. Yeah.
How sad.
Well, he was attacking. He was gonna eat me, so it was self-defense, really.
Oh, well, that makes some more sense then. Are
There's
you
also this master of arms that I battled and took down quite handily as well. I just don't, um, I think as long as I'm not afraid to encounter whoever I fight, I'll be able to take them down.
you're okay being less than a full person? Being not the whole Mr. Alder, just the part of Mr. Alder?
Certainly don't recall telling you my last name, but yes, I think the full Archie is in here and in here and with my crew. As long as I'm with them and I'm following them and I'm standing tall for them and I'm standing strong for them and fighting for them, that's when I'm, at my full potential.
As you're pointing to the different parts of you where you're the full Mr. Alder is, you'll notice that your other hand, somewhere in the conversation, has been taken by hers in both. And you find, not really realizing it, that the two of you are sort of seated cross-legged across from each other, and your hand is between hers, and she's looking at you with this like deep, sort of inquisitive sadness. Like she's trying to see not just the skin and teeth of Archie, but the full man below, and she is not quite like, she's very empathetic to your cause with an unusual tinge of sadness to it. And this crew you speak of, why are they not here? Where did they go? Why are you alone? Why did you
Well,
send the others away? It's just you and me now. This is your choice. Why did you send everyone away if that is what makes you whole?
I guess I was kind of I'm just gonna start fumbling a lot here, losing a lot of confidence in this conversation. He's not very used to having heart-to-heart conversations like that. He's never really had someone like that. I guess I sent the other two away because I don't really know them like that, and he kind of asked me a personal question here, and anyone who's not like part of my main crew, like Saol and John and I guess Nilrim, I wouldn't really want to,
You lack the courage to speak openly to them.
well, it's I guess you could say that, but I'm kind of in charge here as I'm the first mate on the ship. You see, because I'm
Position of much honor.
My captain's first mate because he trusts me a lot.
He must trust you with his
And,
life to promote you so.
Oh, he does. Yeah, for sure. I've saved his life a couple times, and he has saved mine a lot of times too. We trust each other a lot. Yeah.
And that's why he sent you alone in charge of these others when you left him?
I mean, being on a ship together, being in a crew together, it's complicated sometimes. It's there has to be like certain decisions that you make, and sometimes you have to split up, which is why there is a first mate in the first place, right? So that when you split up, you can kind of take that person's position, because he does trust me so much. He was able to send me away without having to look over my shoulder the entire time and see what I'm doing.
You must see the size and scale of your heart. It's very big. You care for the others around you, even through the bluntness of your words. I can see that you are a gentle soul for your friends, for the ones who are part of your crew.
I mean, nobody's really ever put it that way before, and I guess I would say that I'm very loyal to them.
Very loyal to those who you've allowed into you. Just the three that you named: John Winters, Nilrum, Saol.
I would say those are the ones I definitely trust the most. Yeah.
Are there any
there's
others
my
you
pupils.
trust?
There's my pupils back home who I teach to punch. I'm pretty good at punching. One of the best, I would say, actually. Maybe they call me the they call our crew the Crimson Fist. That's because of kind of because of me. And
It's a very violent name.
well, it's sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? It's a violent world out there, really.
I have seen much of your human world, and it is very dangerous and violent. So why would you numb yourself to all the things out there? Why not use all the tools at your disposal? Why cast aside your courage and your fear to be numb? Why would you numb yourself to the world around you? Why would you feel less? Is it that hard? Is it that dark? Is it that scary?
I guess at times it was, yeah, because one time it was so hard, and it was so hard to be fearful that I abandoned my crew, and they could have died because I was afraid. And I never want that to happen again, because if we're depending on each other, if my life is in their hands and their life is in mine, then I can't just let my emotions get ahead of me and let myself abandon those that I care about so much.
Would you roll me a 1d20 minus 3? At this point, you're sort of recognizing that you're not sitting down holding her hand anymore. You're standing up, and all that's left of her is like her eyes and face as she's like receding into the tree, and one of your legs is already through the tree, and one of your hands is partway in the tree, and you catch yourself at this moment realizing that without knowing, you've been led most of the way here.
Listen, Meadow, are we... I think I'd really like to stay on the outside part of the tree. Do you think we can arrange that?
Of course, she says. I'll return your friend to you when it's time. Please refrain from chopping down my tree, though. I would appreciate it. I've enjoyed speaking with you, Archie B. Alder. I've enjoyed getting to know you and your crew.
I guess I've enjoyed it too, Meadow. It was a good conversation.
Try to remember that every time you give up one part of yourself, you're giving up other parts as well. A whole person has all of them together. Don't diminish yourself too much. Don't dim your light, she says as she slips all the way in the tree and sort of vanishes. And again, you start to realize that it's raining around you, that the water is coming down, that you're kind of cold, and you've been sitting out in the jungle talking with this dryad woman for you're not sure how long, until it is that James and Mary Beth tell you it's been 2 hours of talking with her.
Jeez. Well, I'm gonna try to seem unfazed by this. Well, it's negotiations really. The whole deal. Diplomacy, as they say. It takes a while. But
What about
I was able to have a talk with her and have an agreement with her that she would return Euclid by the time we leave.
Good. Did she capture Hit? Is he a prisoner or?
No, he's the way she put it is pretty much he's just chilling and he's asleep and he's coming back when we leave. Yeah, that's it.
They exchange looks. So after 2 hours, you've gotten her to agree to give him back?
Well, yeah. It was there was a lot of diplomacy. We're foreign people on her land here. There was a lot to talk about, but in the end, we get everything we want, right?
Maybe, Captain, may I speak freely? Says Mary Beth.
You may.
Maybe we should move away from this tree.
Yeah, the part of the agreement was that we don't touch or fell the tree. That's
Wise choice, Captain. And she quickly scurries down the coast to the lean-to between those trees way over there and adjusts some branches and pulls the tarp down a little bit and ties it a little lower so that when it's down it like blocks the view of the tree. And she will huddle in, and you'll realize that it is dark and it is raining, but it's like dark enough that it's actually nightfall now, that the sun has set. And I think this is where we take our next break, and we'll come back on the other side and return to PotatoMcWhiskey and his adventures. So see you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Saol.
Hello.
You've made it past the watery fist, past the ruins, beyond the river, to that safe little town that you were at before. From here, you know where the switch back up the mountain is. You know the way to the rest of the people. Is there anything that you want to do aside from just go get reinforcements and help for your ship and, get these people to come pick up their weapons that you're delivering them? Is there any preparations we need? Anything to do before we get there?
I think, let me just double check my spells list here real quick in case there's a spell maybe I want to use or something.
It's a great idea. You did have a strange encounter with that other place, and you had said at the time you wanted to detect magic. And I believe last time you were here, you had a detect spirits memorized that you had used as well. So it might be the right time to check the spell list.
Yes. I only have like utility-ish and combat-y stuff on me right now. I don't have like detect magic or detect spirits, so I can't do any. I would need a rest to do that sort of thing.
Well, you will have a time to rest because when you're at this village, it is like late. You'll need to sleep here and continue your journey the next day. So you can burn whatever spells you need and memorize new ones in the morning if you would like.
Sure, I will essentially burn off a Call Lightning and switch that for a Detect Spirits. I casted a light, so I can just replace that with a Detect Magic. And let me double check if I need to change anything else. There's a couple of these that I can't actually cast because I'm lacking. I'm lacking like bone dice or something for one of them, like little things like that. But I think I'll bring a Detect Spirits and Detect Magic with me, and I'll kind of just I'll show the guys around the town. I'll be like, hey, look, there's the temple to Agpa. Wait, who's the huntress?
Agepa.
Agepa. And I'll tell them When I cast detect spirits, no one else could see the spirit, could they?
Correct. I think you were the only one who could see it.
Yeah, and I'll kind of briefly. I won't give them like too much information, but I'll tell them about my encounter with the spirit. And I said I wanted to try and contact the spirit again to see if maybe things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I will. I will ask. Oh man, I'm gonna have to think about like sleeping and the watches for the night. I'll ask Sora to take first watch.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I'll get a good night's sleep in.
Yes, she will take first watch. She will wake you up when it is time for yours, letting you know that she didn't even bother giving Obamna a watch. She did not trust him. So she took his as well, and then woke you for the last one.
Thank you, Sora. Get some rest.
Mm-hmm. She'll pass out while you memorize spells and do whatever it is you do during your watch. And perhaps is this when you speak with spirits?
Absolutely. This is where I do detect spirits, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
And there she is again. The old priestess. As you cast detect spirits, she is walking around. You found yourself in maybe like an old abandoned structure to give yourself some shelter and cover, and it is around the outside of this building. You can see as she like walks past where the front door would be. This spirit circling your little base over and over and over, pacing, watching, waiting.
Do I get a sense that she is like anxiously anticipating, or is it like a guarding sort of behavior? Like, what's the impression I get from this pacing?
Give me a charisma check.
Nailed it.
Nice. It is like an anxious guarding. Like I need to keep an eye on this to see what is going to happen here. It's maybe a little like anxious is the right word here. It's very anxious. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like she's anxious for our welfare or like anxious for what we'll do. I'll act like I haven't seen her, or maybe she would know I've seen her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll act like I haven't seen her, and I'll kind of pick my way towards the Temple of Agepa.
Yeah. As you exit, the spirit will sort of startle and move back away from you. Try like hiding behind some trees, but even then, like the creature sort of moves between the trees, like through it. It couldn't possibly provide cover on the spiritual plane or on the ethereal plane, or it's sort of maybe like an instinctual habit from when she was alive, but has no actual value to her at this point. You'll lose sight of her as you walk in the direction of the temple. And you'll catch sight of her again as you get to the temple and find some excuse to look behind you. And she's maybe 15, 20 feet back, eyeing you warily. You can see her hand is fumbling with the amulet around her necklace, the symbol of Agepa, goddess of the hunt.
Yeah, I will. I'll make my way into the temple, and I'll kind of like, as I go in, I'll like move to the left. I don't know if you can hide from ghosts, but I'm trying to hide from a ghost.
Mm-hmm. The creature will walk around some stones and eventually come, it'll search after you until get to a point where it can see you. So if you want to hide, it will try to uncover you. How badly do you want to hide?
I'm basically just trying to like make it very clear that it's following me. Like, and be like,
yes.
Why are you following me? I'm like, yeah, I'm setting up to intercede. I'm setting up to like.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have. If you wanted to corner her with like you're following me, you've definitely achieved that, because there's no way that it would, it's definitely watching, following. You go to hide, it comes around and looks in your direction.
Yeah, I will pop out and approach it, and I will be like, why are you following me? Why are you afraid of me?
Oh. Um. Bring dark tidings of change to the world. Terrible, terrible things. You're a monster. Can you not see it? Do you not know it? How could you? How could you make such a dark deal? Black and twisted soul.
My soul. I am a beacon of light in this world. I have done nothing but help those I love, those who help me. I have done my utmost to liberate the people from the oppression of darkness, the true darkness that rules this land. I understand that, listen, I was dying, okay? I made a deal. But he's not that bad. Can he be that bad?
She holds like long eye contact with you. Change is not always good. It's often bad. The world was created perfectly. Why are you here to change it? Why are you here to disrupt it?
The world was created perfectly? Have you not seen the suffering of your own people? The suffering of the people on that island we were just on? The world is filled with mountains of suffering, and you call it perfection? Some suffering makes sense, but children starving, taken away from their families, sworn to serve someone against their will. This is not a world I would call perfect.
You seek to shape it in your own image, then? Make the world as you see fit?
Of course. Don't we all? Don't we all want to make the world conform to our values, our ethics, our beliefs, our wants, and our desires? Don't we want the people who we care about to be rewarded and the people we don't to suffer? Don't we want the world to be the better place that we know it can be?
Your ideal world is all those who oppose you suffer, and you say that is better?
Not all who oppose me. Those who break the values, the tenets, the ideals. Suffering can be deserved, but it's not necessary for the undeserving to suffer.
By what ideals do you live your life? By what ideals do you judge these things? I know mine. Agepa, goddess of the hunt, teaches us to be careful, patient, quiet, and focused. She teaches us that survival comes from the struggle, from the hunt, to hunt or to be hunted. She teaches us that life is a combination of risks and rewards, and one needs to make risks to gain those rewards. She tells us that a true hunter is one who takes only the risks they need and who does not falter when faced with danger. This quiet, careful, focused approach helps guide us through our lives. You and your abominations. What guidance do they give you? What rules your decisions? Nothing. Just lust for power, lust for to shape things as you will, lust to make change whenever you want, however you see it.
Power. What have I done to get more power? Everything I've done was to try to survive, to stay alive, because life itself has value. By forcing upon people suffering and anguish, you devalue their lives. You remove their agency. The only thing that matters is the freedom to choose to live, to be able Hold on. Am I going full like religious libertarian here? Hang on. Let me think about this one. To be able to choose what the meaning is in your life. Meaning is not imparted upon you by the gods. It is created within each of us. If I choose to decide that my suffering is meaningful, so be it. But that suffering should not be foisted upon me because some, and I'll speak with like serious derision here, some backward creature of another plane decided that it wanted to play God.
Which backward creature of another plane wishes to play God?
The gods of this world, all of them. The ones who cause the suffering, the ones who cause the pain.
Oh my god, by all the gods. You're mad. You're absolutely mad.
Madness? Where did the gods come from? Did we create them? Did they create us?
They made you. They made each and every one of us. Martha the Mother imbues us all with life, and each of us is in turn created by one deity or another. Us humans are primarily creatures of Malchus, god of chaos, and I see it in your soul. Elves are gods, creatures of Astaire. Ogres of Varasi. Gnolls of Belthara.
Did you see them make them? Did you see it happen? You only believe the stories you've been told. You
What do you... And you just make up your vision of the world and declare it to be true? You have less evidence than I. The gods speak to me. They show me the truth. They walked the lands. They give us divine powers. They sit in the sky above us, and they turn to meteors and fall to the ground when they need to intervene. They are the only truth in the world. You...
And how do you know they're telling you the truth? If they have total control, total power, infinite possibilities, they could tell you lies and make you feel it true.
If they have infinite power, they could make me however they needed. They could make me in a way where they would not need to lie to me. If they have infinite power, the lies are unnecessary. Repent. It's not too late. It may cost your life, but you can still save your soul. Don't you care about what happens to you after you die? Don't you care about the beyond? About the fragments of you that return to the moon? Return to Falumbra? Falumbra, goddess of souls. You see her in the night sky as the moon. She is where we all go when we die. She is where we get to relive our lives over and over, moving backwards and forwards in them. Do you not know how the world functions? Do you not know how the afterlife begins? Do you not know where you come from? This thing that you serve hides the beauty of the world from you. However you speak with it, it feeds you only what it wants from you. Can you be so certain you're not the one being lied to, manipulated by? Whatever this entity that possesses you, this name I cannot see.
I care not for these things. I care for who was there for me upon the precipice of death. Where were you? Where was your God? Where were the others? Where were they? They did not care for me. They did not want me. I had done nothing to harm anyone, and I was condemned to death. For what? Taking a trip? Being in the wrong place at the wrong time? To be given the gift of life, that is the most holy and greatest gifts. To be given that which you have want the most in the moment you need it the most. Can there be a greater gift a God can give?
You would enslave yourself to anyone who grants you life?
Slavery? I
It's
can
what you've
choose
chosen.
to leave whenever I want. I am free. I made this choice willingly. I can leave whenever I want.
You can leave whenever you want.
I can exit the mortal coil. That is the bargain I made, and I made it freely.
And what happens to you when you leave? Where will you go? You've
I have
bound your
no intention
soul
of
to
finding out.
something. Do you know what will happen to you after this? I don't. Do you know where your soul will go? I don't. All I can see is that you have some dark hand wrapped around you, wrapped around your spirit, pulling you away from our plane, pulling you in another direction, pulling you here. She kind of gestures to this area, to this physical place of temporary existence.
I guess I'll never know. If there is nothing for me beyond this life, then why should I live any differently? Even if I repent, I'll become shards, as you said. So what choice do I have but the choice I made back then? I have to make the most of what I will actually see and experience.
Run, you foolish boy. Run. And the huntress cleric will sort of recede carefully from you, stepping backwards as if she's like checking her footing, but you see that her foot clips through rocks anyway, or like hovers above a spot on the ground where, you know, she should have fallen from, but she checks her footing anyway and recedes into the jungle, cautious, whispering one more time as she departs that you should flee this thing that binds you here. And soon she's gone, and the others wake up. The sun comes out, the rain stops. You can find the switchback that leads up the mountainside, and you can continue your journey. It's not too much longer this day until you run into the people of Sulphur Island. I don't know what we would call them. They're not quite wildlings, but they are sort of. Like, they come from a advanced society that has fallen, and so now they're sort of primitive creatures living in the shadow of their great society.
I guess you might compare it to like people living in the ruins of Rome.
Yeah,
You
or
know,
after the end of the
with-
Bronze Age.
Yeah,
In
it's
one of
kind of
those
like all
arch-
these things that were built that they don't remember how to fix, and so
Mhm.
they're still using like crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah. Anyway, you can go through the area until you find your dark-aged friends. You'll actually catch them on a path down to meet you as you come up through the switchback and get to the top of it and move forward, and then there they are. And one of them will reach out, this is the wrong track, with open arms and with a big smile on their face. They will call out your name and walk forward to embrace you. Dear friend Saol, where are the others? Tell me they have not fallen to the dastardly White Prince. Tell me they have not died in a pursuit of noble justice for wrongs many generations ago.
No, they have not fallen. They live yet. They are on a different task. They could not be with me here today. However, as joyous as this occasion is to see you all again and to meet you all, and I'll kind of gesture towards the tower where the princess was. I think there's like a tower that she was in, right?
Yep, that's
say-
one way over here.
And while I would love to see the princess again, I'm in urgent need. Our boat has run aground, and I need strong men. I need help. We're in trouble. We have brought you goods and supplies and aid, but we cannot get them here because our boat is damaged. Do you have any woodworkers?
We do. We shall, if you bring weapons and tools and aid and your boat is stuck, then we shall absolutely help you with whatever repairs or strength is needed. Come, let us head to the nearby village where we can rest for the day. We should set out in the morning. We can eat, we can feast, and you can tell us the tales that you have of what you have seen since last we have met. And he'll lead you back to the village while talking and asking all sorts of questions about like where you've been, what have you done, have you seen the White Prince, is he alive, is he still alive? He should be old now, how come he's not dead yet? You know, what does he still have? We haven't seen as many of his boats nearby. Has something changed, or is it just the season? All the questions of the era come bombarding down on you. What impression would you like to give these people of the outside world?
I'm going to feed them some serious hopium. That I'm going to tell them about the destruction of like several towns loyal to the White Prince, the turning, like the rebellion we started in place with the little straight crab.
Yes.
And Jamuba.
Yeah.
I'll tell him all about that, and that like it's happening. We're working to break his hold over the outer islands, and that these lands will return to glory.
Oh my
may
God.
Agepa be praised, I say, cynically.
They are thrilled to hear that this is the thing. And once you're in the village, you know, it's already sort of getting on to evening. It's been a long day of hiking up the mountain and the switchbacks and everything. And so once you get seated in here, they'll quickly bring out some food and pass them around. They'll introduce themselves to your two new friends, assuming at face value that these are trusted people that you've brought with them. No need to, you know, question them. And it's not too long before food and drink is pulled out and music is played. And none of my music tracks are working right now, but that's okay. And there will be a long afternoon of resting and a little bit of feasting and swapping stories. They tell you that the princess is still alive, but not particularly well. You know, she's pretty old now and her health is in question. And clerics, as they are, will do their best to help her. And the healers around will help her as best they can. But all people come to an end eventually. All lifespans end. And soon she'll turn to Falumbra, where she will be able to review all of her life in its glory for all of her days as she slowly fades and is recycled into new people, new souls. Hopefully, most of her will come back into this very island and lead us once again in another generation. That's sort of the spirit of what's going on. And we could talk a lot about your communication with them. But what I'm more interested in is how you let your two new comrades interact with these people. Because Obamna and Sora are very tentatively with you. Like, they're helping you here because their lives are depending on it. But Sora was just fighting you. And Obamna did run your ship aground and sort of it's clear that he fears for his safety. The, you know, I'll throw you to the trolls comments come across with your attitude anyway. How do you want these people to interact with your island friends and vice versa? Are they free? Are you going to deny them certain access? Are you going to sit near them and carefully oversee what they see and hear? Are you going to let them roam? Are they prisoners or are they allies?
I will give the impression that these are like indentured servants, like people who owe me a debt, and I'll say like, look, they have a freedom to an extent, but it's limited. That they, you know, they cannot leave town, they cannot do things that they should not, and that while they are not to be harmed, and nor are they to be denied basic pleasures and amenities and stuff like that, they're also like, they haven't yet proven themselves to the cause of reviving the Dardanelles.
Okay.
Is that kind of the impression that makes sense?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. So one of the things you'll note tonight, while much sort of frivolity ensues, is the stories that these Dark Time Islanders will be telling Sora and Obamna. You'll catch them talking about the history of the White Prince, telling the two of them about his abominations, his atrocities, about the undead on the island and how they're still there 100 years later or 80 years later, however long it is, the undead still crawl over the place. And they'll tell them the stories of the four of you fighting your way through the undead. They'll tell about the times that their people tried to surrender and how they were beaten back, about the horrible magics the White Prince has used to overcome islands, and the absolute force he's used to impose his will on the peoples out here, about reading minds and gathering information through telepathy, invading people's most personal, intimate moments to rip knowledge out of their minds. And over the course of the evening, you will see a remarkable difference in Sora and Obamna as they hear these things about the White Prince that they never heard from. You'll overhear them say things like, well, we always heard that he kept the Dardens peaceful and that there was good trade and everything was in order and there was no violence and the air was a relative peace, even if somewhat strict. And you'll get the general impression that the folks back from Tide's End, where these sailors are from, really had no idea what was happening here. We're kind of oblivious to the truth. And as they learn what is going on and learn, at least from these jungle people that you guys are staunchly opposed to the White Prince, you'll catch them looking over at you with a newfound sense of not respect, but impressed. They're not just pirates. They're pirates on a mission of redemption to destroy this evil thing. And that might not actually be the truth, but that is the truth that these island folks have of you, of your team, your crew, and it is the truth that they impart to your new companions. We're just gonna roll a wisdom check over here for Sora, and a wisdom check for Obamna. And Obamna's gonna need a wisdom score. Ooh, okay. So Sora also has killer wisdom. Okay. So they get that they're sort of maybe getting a one-sided story and that there's more to it than this perspective. But by the time the night wraps up and everyone gets ready to go to bed, Sora will approach you, still sword at her side, and pull you away from others as everyone's being led to a place to sleep and given soft blankets. And she'll say to you, Saol, Saol, Father Saol, is that the appropriate term? I see the pendant around your neck, and I think I've witnessed things that can only be done by clerics. Is that the appropriate honorific?
Saol is just fine. I make no illusions of my dominance or seniority over my fellow man.
Is it true what these people say? Is your express purpose to rid the world of this man posing as the divine, and when in reality he is the profane?
I'll kind of put my hands on my knees. I'm going to spread my hands kind of in an honest gesture. I'm like, well, look, it is true. It is true. It's not the whole truth. I mean, I'm not a good man. I enrich myself along the way of this goal, but I swore an oath. I swore an oath to destroy what hold the White Prince has over this land.
That is refreshingly honest. A great many men have sworn oaths to do great deeds, but would never say quite so frankly that they enrich themselves along the way. I appreciate your candor.
What point do I have to deceive and pretend that I am entirely good? It would only make people doubt me.
She will not say anything else unless you want to speak to her further. She will take that and chew on it for the night.
No, I'm just that's what we do. It's we tell the truth and we're bastards. That's the whole thing.
Tell the truth and we're bastards. That's a very good thing. Okay, Obamna says nothing. Doesn't matter. But in the morning, your new friends will bring you round and head back with you. They'll escort you all the way through the jungle. They will light torches to keep the trolls at bay. They say even during the daylight, it's best to walk through the jungle with torches unless it's raining. For some reason, the trolls are, at least on this island, are, like gorillas, terrifying, hugely strong, but when it rains, they quickly seek shelter and hide. No one quite understands why. And it is not too long before you will make your way back to the boat. So let's do a quick flip over to Archie at the boat. Mr. Archie, here you are with the others. It's been days. Euclid has never returned from the tree. The dryad creature has not come back out of it. But you have felled your tree and gotten some good planks, and you've bent them into the right shape and let them sit for a few days, wet and then dried. You've got a pretty good shelter. It's a little muddy on the ground, but it's not too bad. Just enough, twigs and branches to give you something to walk on. You've been here for a few days now. What have you been doing with your friends, your companions, your peeps?
I mean, like Archie's, he's used to being out on sea. He's used to being bored,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just scouting out the area a little bit, and just like the vicinity, see if there's like anything in immediate vicinity that's dangerous to us or something. Which I'm assuming there's not a lot going on. Just jungle.
You do find some troll footprints that look a few days old that came through an area, but that's the biggest sign of danger that you come across.
Yeah, we'll deal with those when we get to it, and we have like night watches and stuff like that, standard stuff when we're sleeping. I guess we're just hanging out. We're making sure that our shelter is good. I'm guessing we're like fishing for food, or we.
There's plenty of food on the boat. And you do have fishing poles.
Rations on the boat. True. Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, just mostly whatever you do if you're just stuck out on sea and you're chilling, you're just laying down for a little bit, talking, maybe singing a sea shanty or two here or there, at the fire at night. But nothing too crazy.
Yeah, once all the major work that you need to do before the rest of the party arrives is done, James will take this opportunity to ask you to help spar with him and train with him, because he's one of your fighting apprentices, I believe. Right? He was one of the soldiers back from Bermuda. Do a little bit of training with James. Yeah, and a couple days later, here comes Saol, with a whole bunch of islanders in tow. Maybe a pack of 20 of them, enough people to haul the boat out of the water and get into the right place with enough hands, and including some like pitch that they've brought with them that'll help patch up any spots on the boat that you might need, just in case you didn't have your own. And the whole party will be reunited again. First thing you'll notice, other James, is that Euclid's gone.
I'll kind of be like, are you missing someone, or is
there was
like a.
Yeah, do you remember back during that whole ordeal with the bears and everything, we met those like tree ladies? Do you remember that?
Oh, when Nilram proved himself dangerously irresponsible when it came to religious matters. Yes, I remember.
Oh yeah, the one time that happened. Yeah, right. Anyway, one of those tree ladies came out of that tree actually over there. I'll point to it. And Euclid decided to go hang out with her, and they've been hanging out in that tree ever since. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
I like step back and like look up. Like in the tree?
No, like yeah. So like not like up, but like in. They walked into it and like disappeared into it, and they're like inside the tree now. I think is what's going on.
I like walk, but I like there's no door. Is
Yeah,
this tree?
it's like a magic thing, I think.
He's in the tree? Like he
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
became. When is he coming out?
Abominable, speak up.
Well,
I think it's magic.
that's actually a really astute observation, Obama. Good job. I'll flick him like a silver.
Don't please don't reward him, please.
He's just picking up on his surroundings. He's doing better than he was when he was navigating us earlier, right?
Well, that is true. I don't think he's earned rewards yet. Please don't
Well-
undermine me in this relationship.
Okay, it sounds like you guys have been through some shit. Yeah, so yeah, I think the tree lady said that when we were ready to leave, that she'd bring him back. We actually we negotiated that. We negotiated that, yeah.
You negotiated with a tree lady?
Oh, well, I had a conversation with her. Actually, you know what? From first mate to Claire. Can I pull you aside for a second and talk to you about something about the negotiations and everything?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so we kind of leave the group a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had a conversation with this tree lady. We talked for a long time. She was really nice. She really It was kind of weird because she knew my like full name, but I guess like we're pretty well known out here now, right?
Yeah, she maybe someone talked to her and told her.
Yeah.
News travels.
Exactly. Anyway, she kind of asked me some questions about. You remember what we talked about with our tentacle friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she said some stuff. I didn't tell her about our friend at all. Don't worry about that.
No, good call.
But I did tell her that, or she kind of asked me about like what it was about the me swimming out there and then him taking like all the fear from me and everything, and telling me that I'd never be afraid again and stuff like that. You remember?
Yeah, I think we talked about that, and
Yeah.
he gave you a gift, and you're better now, right?
Yeah.
You're not afraid.
Well, so like, she said that she said a lot of things that I couldn't really follow, but I think basically what she was saying is that when you give up fear, you kind of numb yourself. So like you also lose the ability to be brave, and you just become like nothing, which is obviously just weird, like tree magical being talk. That's obviously not, doesn't have anything to do with she's never been on a boat. She doesn't know what it means to be courageous. She doesn't have a crew to fight for. But just just wondering like kind of what your thoughts on what your thoughts on that kind of perspective were.
I mean, I'm flattered you think my opinion on this matters, but like, do you feel brave? Do you feel braver? Isn't that like? Do you feel any fear? Do you feel?
I haven't been afraid since I talked to our friend. No.
So you got what you wanted, and
I think so. Yeah.
Do you feel brave? Like, do you feel courageous, or is it? Or are you unsure? I mean, look, he gave me my life. It's not like that has like a double,
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm actually dead or something, and I clap Archie on the shoulder.
I don't even know how that would work, right? Cause,
like there's no way you would take away the opposite part of what I've been given. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, because then you would be like something really weird in between, which like you're normal. So yeah, so I don't think she knew what she was talking about there, right?
I think Archie, and I'll put my hand, I'll like hold his arms like by the elbow kind of area, and I'll be like, listen, it's up to you. If you think you're still brave, then you're still brave. That's how that works. The feeling is what you decide it is. You have to be in touch with yourself, Archie.
I think well, I mean, like we went up this river, right? And I made that decision. I feel like that's nothing that someone who's not brave is, right? Um, no, but she also kind of tried to pull me into the tree, and like I kind of made her stop. So I think that was like a whole thing. It was really weird.
Was this
Um,
before or after the deal? Because that sounds like she wasn't holding up her end of the bargain. Listen, I'm not like a master negotiator, but if I'm like, yeah, let's do a deal, and then I throw you in my brig, that kind of feels weird, man. I'm just
well, that now that you mention it, she tried to fuck me over, didn't she?
she. Oh my, she, tr- dude, did she make a promise to you and then break it?
Well, I don't think she made like a promise. The
But
only
she
promise,
lied. She broke her word.
well, she promised that she would bring back Euclid.
I don't see Euclid. Where is Euclid?
Well, she said she'd bring him back when we're ready to go. She didn't seem like Archie's conflicted because he has a history with women breaking promises and fucking him over. So now that he's like been put onto this, he's feeling pretty suspicious. Um, you know, did she? She didn't promise that she wouldn't pull me into the tree.
I, you know, I feel like that's you do Archie when you do parlay. You don't you don't throw people in the brig, right? You respect now, unless you're like a total bastard, then you might just kill him anyway. But
Yeah,
then you got to
yeah.
make sure no one finds out about it because then your reputation's it's a
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Do you think we should maybe go talk? So like, I promised that we wouldn't touch her tree again. That we would go set up shelters somewhere else, which I think is totally fair. There's lots of trees out there. We didn't need that one. Um, but like now that you kind of mention it, her trying to, and with Euclid, the whole thing was kind of weird too, because he just kind of she cast like a spell, and then now that I think about it, he kind of only followed her after she cast the spell.
I uh, did she steal a crewmate? We got to go talk to her. Can I
I
like
think
knock on the tree like it's a door?
I tried that before. It didn't really work. I think if we want her attention, maybe the last time we got her to get out, we just kind of knocked down the tree.
Here's my thoughts, Archie. I feel like she has not treated us in the good faith that we have treated her. She has taken one of our men, has not explained where he is, and hasn't given him back.
Well, she did kind of explain. She said that he'd moved on to another plane or something.
Another plane.
Yeah.
What?
He's not dead. I asked her about that. She said he's just, she said that there's like planes between the trees and that's where he's hanging out now. But
I think we should find out where he is. Let's go talk to the tree.
all right.
Armed with
What
this.
about all the other people that are around? All these like folks that you've brought with you to help repair the ship. Are you going to talk to the tree before you set about fixing the ship, or are you going to fix the ship and then talk to the tree? What's our order of operations?
That's a good question. Actually, I'll talk to a couple of the locals and see if they heard any stories about dryads. Or,
Yes.
well, whatever these things are.
Yes, they will use the word dryad. They will tell you that some dryads do live in the woods here, but they'll say it with some trepidation in their voice. Yeah, there are fey spirits, tree spirits here. He looks cautiously to the nearby large oak. They do sometimes live in large oak trees. Is that why we're asking? Has someone here seen one of them?
I'll kind of be like, we should talk privately, and I'll kind of drag him off to the side with me and Archie, and I'll kind of quiz him on this thing.
Yeah, timeless face spirits. Rarely do they really speak with us. Sometimes people go missing in the jungle, and sometimes you get eaten by a troll, sometimes you fall down a cliff, sometimes you get taken by a dryad. They are.
Taken.
Yeah, Echo? Yeah, taken.
Do they ever come back? Does anyone ever come back?
Well, it's kind of hard to know why people disappear sometimes, but there is a story in the village. 5 years ago, someone disappeared, and they showed up 3 years later, aged, significantly aged, and sort of dumb. Like a couple on their honeymoon, sort of blissfully ignorant of everything going on around them and just sort of dumbly joyful. You know what I mean? Kind of not all there anymore, up in the brain pan, a little bit addled. He came back. It took him a while to get back into normal life, and eventually he did. I kind of look around, and he points like over his shoulder with his thumb. The one way in the back of the party, way back over. You see the guy with the axe over the shoulder? That's the one that got taken.
Is he okay talking about what happened to him? Does he remember?
He says it's sort of like a long dream. I don't know. He gets kind of weird about it. He talks in some metaphors, speaking about emotions like they're solid objects, and talking about seeing sounds and hearing colors. I don't know, dude.
That sounds like he had some mushrooms growing in the forest. Doesn't sound like she.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what happens to people when the dryads take you, but like all the Fey spirits, they're different. They can charm you at will just by looking at you. I've seen brave men who would swear they would never, that they'd hack down a dryad at first sight, sort of wander towards them until we were able to grab them and drag them off. I've always thought it's best to just leave them alone. There have been some times they've come, there's a story where a dryad came to, not our village, but another one up on the mesa, closer to where the princess lives, and asked them for help with something, and they helped her, and then she gave them a bunch of gems. That seemed to be a pretty good interaction. Other times, Fey spirits, it's all trickery and charm, and you're never quite certain if they're helping you or if you're helping. I don't know, man. I get the heebie-jeebies around these things. Definitely shouldn't touch that tree. Certainly not chop it down. God help us if we try to burn it down.
Oh, that was the next step in my plan. Why not?
Fear of the unknown?
That doesn't sound like the best argument.
Well, hang on a minute. I mean, I like Euclid. He's a nice guy. But here's the thing. Do we dabble in magic to try and get him back? Or do we just cut our losses? That's the thing I'm going to ask right now.
He could be gone for years, says villager number 12.
What do you think, Archie? We try and get him back? He could be useful.
Well, so here's what I'm thinking. Is she going to keep the promise of bringing him back? That's kind of what's important here, right? I say we fix up the ship, we get ready to go, and if he's not back by then we come knocking on the tree.
I'll nod, and I'll kind of hold my chin and think I suppose it's not a bad plan. I mean, he's only gone for a couple of days. He's not going to be aged like the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I shall sort of so we're done here. We get to work on the boat.
Archie, you get to make boat fixing rolls because you are the, what do we call it? Shipwright. So would you give me a shipwright proficiency check?
I will do just that. Chat probably can't see the roll again. I rolled 19.
I can't see the roll.
Oh.
I think roll 20 is there it is. Roll 20 is a little bit delayed sometimes. Yes, 19 is not quite great. Let's see what a 19 means. 21 is our goal. Non-weapon proficiencies. Does that mean it'll just limp you home until you can put it in a proper dry dock, or does it mean you're wrecked? Can oversee construction of basic ships. Larger vessels, the character must have an engineering proficiency or working with someone who has one. Awesome. You can oversee the construction of ships. Maybe a check wasn't necessary then if you can just do this stuff.
Well, we're
a good
in
proficiency.
unideal conditions. Maybe a check of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money and equipment. Efficiencies. Ship. Right. Okay. So I'm going to say that your patch that you've made will get you seaworthy, but it will sort of be not the perfect patch. Like water will be coming in, your boat will be under non-optimal conditions. If you engage in combat, that area is likely to break or leak or weaken, and you'll be taking on a small, boats are always taking on water, and you're always having to bail up water out, but you'll be taking on a little bit more water than usual, as this leaks just a little bit. So it will serve to get you home, but should you engage in combat, you will. There's a hole ready to be opened on your boat for free damage, essentially. So don't get yourself sunk.
Got it.
Okay. So, ship finished. Maybe 3 days later, everyone together can pull it all the way up onto the sandbar, all the way up onto the shore if need be, tilt it on the side, properly patch it up. You've got repair tools on hand. You can hand out the weapons that you had given to these, intended for these villagers. Do you let Sora keep her sword, or do you have her sword be one of the things that the villagers get? Because she had her own sword that she had brought with her on the other ship and that she was disarmed from and that she was carrying about for a little while. But do you give the good stuff to the villagers, or do you give the good stuff to her? Is she a crew member, or is she still a pseudo-prisoner?
Ooh.
What do you think, Archie? Or sword? We could get her another sword. These guys need the good stuff, don't they? Or what do we do?
I mean, you spend a lot of time with her. How do you feel? How do you feel about it?
She seems at least non-hostile. Like she's willing to work with us as long as we don't do anything that will majorly set off her morality alarm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'll just get her the good stuff.
All right. She's crew. Give her the good stuff.
All right. Sora keeps to keep her sword. And that will just about do it for her. Between the conversations she has had with you on this journey, between the way that she's seen you interact with the weird spiritual stuff, that sort of both of you picking up on something, and the conversations she's had with you about the White Prince, backed up by what these people here on this island have said about the White Prince, backed up with the fact that you are clearly going out of your way to bring weapons and armor and tools and supplies to these people who have been so downtrodden. Sora's opinion of the Crimson Fists has pretty much done a 180 from I've been captured by pirates are evil to this is a completely different ball game that I wasn't even aware was being played, and I think I'm on the right team right now. I'm not going to say that she's 100% loyal, but you have earned Sora's trust, and unless there is some sort of big moment of, where her alignment is called into question, or your alignment is called into question, Sora can be a full-fledged NPC henchman now. What about Abomna? Before we go on to Euclid, he kind of fucked some shit up.
It gets funnier every time you
boat.
say it. I swear to God.
What do you want to do with this guy? Does he need to be punished? Is he fine? Is he the new Jimmy? The new Bobby?
I think Nilrum really wants a navigator for one of our ships, right? I don't think we can actually get rid of him, and I will tell Nilrum about his navigation. Well, no, actually, I swear the crew to secrecy. Wait, I can't lie to the crew. Damn it, Archie. How do we deal with the fact? You know what? Nilrum wasn't here. We held a vote. Okay, we went up the river, and he could deal with it.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. Well, all that's left is Euclid, stuck in the tree. We go after him. We leave him. The boat's ready. Your jungle friends have thanked you for all the gear and weapons. The princess sends her regards. They'll see you soon. They wish you the best of luck on your journeys, and they're gone. Now it's just you guys in the tree. The rain's definitely stopped. The boat is in the water, only held by the rope that's tying it to a nearby tree.
Oh, right. We need to get Euclid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go up to the tree with Archie and be like, all right, I don't know how you get their attention, and I'll politely knock on the tree,
I'll be like, okay, we're ready to leave now. It would be nice if Euclid was here because we are about to set out to sea. We are ready to go.
And then a foot comes through the tree. It is the Dryad's leg, clad only in a meshy sort of long dressy skirty thingy, and slowly the whole creature will emerge from the tree, holding by the hand Euclid, who, when he left you guys, he was somewhere in his early 20s, clean shaven, sort of like a young Hottie McHot Pants. And he'll step out like at least 10 years older, definitely in his mid to late 30s now, with like a full heavy red beard. He looks like he has gained a little bit of weight while he was gone, but it like looks a little bit more like muscle mass or something. And he'll step out of the tree and like blinking at his eyes, which are a little bit milky and glossed over, and sort of gazing around at the treetops and down at the ground. And he looks and says, where is this now? Where have we come to?
Yo, you okay? Is he? I'm gonna smell his breath to see if he's drunk.
There is like a really sweet honey mead scent coming off of him. He's definitely been drinking.
Euclid, where were you?
How do you know my name, stranger? He says, like his eyes looking in your direction, but not quite fixed on your place.
What have you done to him? What have you done to Euclid? I'll turn to the Dryad and kind of accuse her of something.
I've done nothing to him other than provide him with food and shelter and water, nectar. We played, we sang, we danced, we visited the plane of dreams.
I gesture towards him, but he's aged. He's ancient by our time. What? Turn him back. Give him his youth back.
Yeah, did you put a spell on him?
Not at all. Times might pass a little differently, but it's negligible periods. Nothing important, nothing you won't miss.
Negligible for you? We don't live. I don't know how long do you live? All right.
She kind of puts she has her arm around him. He's a little bit taller than her, and she strokes his hair gently and says, Euclid, sweetheart, darling, are you unhappy? Are you suffering? Are you in pain? And he shakes his head and goes,
Whoa.
but This place is so different. The ground is so wide and solid. I can walk everywhere. Look at this. And he just starts walking around.
This is not the Euclid that I remember, okay? You've done something to him. You can't be like, oh, I imprisoned him for 10 years, but he's happy with it, okay? You've done something to him and I don't like it.
Yeah, this is
weird.
You made a promise that you bring Euclid back, but this is not the Euclid that left us. I don't feel like you really kept your promise up here. What would you? What would he's basically he's gonna like.
Look at him. He's strong. He's healthy. Look at that magnificent beard he's grown. None of my people can do such things, you know.
Does have a nice beard, doesn't he, Saol? Oh.
It is a magnificent beard, if that's beside the point, Archie. Okay, you have taken from us 10 years of a faithful man's life. We require compensation.
I did you a favor. You asked for shelter. I sheltered one of you.
Well, you didn't say what your price was. Now we're renegotiating.
Time cannot be undone.
Yes, you better start giving us money because time is money.
Yeah.
So get those gems out.
How many human years did he spend in there?
She shrugs. Time does not have the same meaning for us. I wouldn't know how to give you an answer that you would appreciate. And she looks towards Saol and says, "You feel very harsh and angry. You seem deeply disturbed."
Yeah, it's a good read, I would say. I'm feeling pretty harsh and angry too. I'm gonna keep it a stack, Meadow.
Yeah, don't try to sweet talk me, tree wench. Okay, give me some money.
Okay. She reaches into a pocket and pulls out an acorn and hands it to you.
No. I heard you guys have like gems and rubies and stuff. Give me the good stuff.
Gems and rubies. Rocks. Precious, fancy, glittering rocks. Is that what you want?
Yeah, as payment for stealing the life of the man I felt less than disdain for.
He was listen, okay? Here's the problem, Meadow. All right. When you took him from us, okay? He was a valuable asset to our crew, okay? He was young, strong. He could work for us.
He's very young and strong. You should hear what they call him in our realm.
What do they call him in your realm?
Euclid speaks up. They don't call me Dryad. They call me Dry Daddy. She nods. He's a most useful and entertaining person. He's brought so much stories and joy to our people. We've most enjoyed our time with this man, and he's spoken surely highly of both of you, mostly of you there, Saol, she says, looking at Saol. He's relayed a story to us of a time the two of you were so honest and spoke so clearly about what each of you desired and what each of you wanted and didn't want. He spoke of you in a way that I would expect upon meeting you that you would be a wise man, a man with patience and communication. I'm a little disturbed to see such haste around you.
I am patient. I am understanding. However, that patience and understanding goes out the window when I feel that me and my crew have been deceived and something has been taken from us and nothing in value returned.
This man's life is not yours. It is his own, and he came willingly and he stayed willingly. You could have left at any time.
Did not. You cast a spell upon him. Do not try to trick me with your lies.
I calmed the anger and fear in him. I simply brought him to a place where he was at peace with himself, and peace with the world.
Euclid, would you say you had a good time over there?
Where? Where should we go?
He's not even coherent anymore, Meadow. Is he high or something? Like, Euclid.
It may take
wave my
him.
hand in front of him.
It may take him some days to return to the prime materia plane. His mind has been in the realm of dreams for a while. He's seen many things. It's like, imagine a long slumber. When you first wake in the morning, I understand your people sleep quite a lot. Every night, in fact. And when you first wake, you are a bit groggy and a bit disoriented, right? It takes you a little while to become your full self. Euclid tells me that your people need a special brew of a nut that is first cooked and then ground and then cooked again in water, and that this special nut juice wakes you up every morning.
What is he? What is it?
What?
He's going crazy, Saol, I think.
He called it Kaffee? Kofefi? Something like that. It's a name not known to us.
Oh, Saol. They're talking about tea. Okay.
Oh, tea.
Yeah. No, I understand now.
Think of him like this. He simply needs some tea.
Okay.
I also need tea. You've taken this man's valuable years of his life away.
And his valuable labor on our ship that he could have performed for us. This man's useless. How is he going to serve on a ship?
He will be fine. But if it is tea that you need, I can bring you tea. You may drink tea to wake up. We drink tea to sleep. Shall I get you some?
Okay.
You know, a little bit of tea does sound kind of nice right now. I'm not going to lie. I think that's a wonderful idea, right?
It could be useful, actually. You know what? We'll take the tea.
Yeah.
Excellent. She begins to walk towards the tree and then reaches out a hand to you, Saol. Come on.
Hold on.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Could you bring the tea to us?
Yes, I can bring it to you. I thought we had established a trust, though.
When you steal 10 years of a man's life, that kind of makes me not trust you very much.
Yeah, I don't.
No time was stolen. He enjoyed every moment of it. Or as much as one can. A period of time. But sit here, wait. I shall return post-haste with your tea. And
I'll turn to Archie and I'll say, I don't think you can actually talk. I think they believe their lies.
Yeah, I think there's a cultural barrier going on here.
She has gone into the tree and steps out moments later, fractions of a second later, with a jar made out of wood. I guess it's more of just a cylindrical cup with a little lattice of some sort of woven material that's mixed in with beeswax and honey that wraps over the top of it to form an airtight seal. It has, I don't know, a half pint in it.
All right.
Thanks.
I'll take it, and right before I take the sip, and Saol takes a sip, I'll be like, wait, Saol.
Yes.
Should we be drinking this without sugar and milk right now?
No, we should save it for later.
I think so too. Yeah, I think I'd just straight tea without sugar and milk. That's not.
I thought you wanted to leave. Now's not the time to drink it. It will put you to sleep.
For how long?
She shrugs.
I know time isn't a... Okay.
A non-substantial amount of time.
Well, it seems like this guy was gone for a non-substantial amount of time, and he's been out for a while. Um, listen, Meadow, and I'll look at the team and I'll kind of put it down for a second. I feel like that there's some problems communicating between our culture and yours here, so let me try to explain. So,
Please.
so we're
She
kind of
steps forward and takes both of your hands and looks directly into your eyes as you're talking to her, giving you all of her attention and listening to you very intently.
okay. Archie's a little bit uncomfortable, but he'll let it happen. Listen. So we're, as you sensed earlier, a little bit upset right now.
Mhm.
Because what happened to us is like we had a man in our crew. You remember the talk we had just a couple days ago about how my crew is like pretty important to me and
Like it was
they depend on
yesterday.
me.
Yes, they're
Yeah,
your people. They're on your insides.
exactly. Something like that.
Yes, you take them
Um,
into you.
well, I mean, not like that, but you know, um, they're just like it's an important thing to me. The whole the whole crew deal, and
Mhm.
there's a person who was important to my crew, and you took him with you, kind of without asking me, and then came back. You brought him back when you said you would. That was cool, but you didn't really return him in the condition. So let's say I gave you, let's say you gave me an acorn for me to keep, right?
Mhm.
And I promised you that I would give you that acorn back, right?
Mhm.
And I gave you that acorn back, and the acorn was all shriveled up and kind of rotten and kind of like you couldn't really use it anymore.
Oh, like it had wasted.
Yeah, like that.
Oh. She like releases one of your
Um,
hands and puts a hand over her heart. That would be so sad.
yeah, so that's kind of what happened with our friend here. That's what it feels like to me.
That's okay. Let me give you context. Imagine I gave you an acorn to hold, and when you gave it
Hmm.
back to me, it had sprouted into a seedling. That is the man you see before you now. He is the same acorn, just sprouted somewhat, grown, changed for the better, improved, enhanced, further along in his journey, and all the better for it. Nothing has been lost, only things have been gained.
Sail, help me out here. I get this.
I, you know how I, it's like you remember your parents, Archie?
Do I remember what?
Do you remember like your parents or a guardian or someone who looked after you? You know when you were like, man, I want to stay up late tonight, and no matter what you said, they weren't going to let you.
Uh, uh, well, when I was growing up in the streets, I just kind of slept wherever I could, so not really working for me here. No, I,
Damn.
it's nice that you had like a home and like parents that would like give you like proper bedtime and stuff. It's cool that you grew up like that. I'm happy for you, but not everyone had
Do
that kind
you
of
get the
privilege.
metaphor at least, or the like? They just won't listen. They're not interested in what you want or have to say.
Yeah. I think I understand what you mean. Yeah. Wait,
They
can you
have
put it
their
in? Can you put it in like ship terms and like ship crew terms?
oh, you've been at sea for months, all right?
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I got some wages saved up. I want to go shore. I want to get me some beer. I want to hang out with some
Hmm.
ladies. I want to do all that stuff. And your captain is like, nah, bro, you can't go to shore. You got to work the boat. And you're like, but wait, man, I've been working all this time. And you give him all the reasonable arguments, all the reasonable things. But this captain, he's just such a dick that he won't
Oh
even
yeah,
entertain
me
what you
and
want to
Captain
say.
Sir, me and John, we served under a guy like that once. Yeah.
Yeah, she just won't listen to anything we say. She has her position, She probably doesn't even believe it's true. She just doesn't want to move from what she believes. What she believes.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like she's the dickhead captain. So I guess our options are we just like, I don't know, maybe this tea is worth money and we could take it now. We got something out of it. Or, you know, and I'll kind of like lean in and be like, we could just, you know, destroy the tree.
Well, yeah, I mean, one time we had a captain like that, and we just, when we were on high sea, we just threw him off together, and then we said he got lost in a storm. That was, is pretty much the best option to get rid of a person like that, right?
Yeah. Just to extend the metaphor, well, we might be able to destroy the tree. The problem is, you know, imagine if you threw the captain into the water and then he turned into a kraken and decided to destroy the ship. That's the kind of situation we might be dealing with here. I don't know what she's
Yeah.
capable of.
Yeah. So, are you saying we should just cut our losses and?
I mean,
like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of fucked over by her. But then also I feel like it wasn't really her fault, and she's been kind of nice. Like she didn't really want to fuck us over. I think it just kind of.
it just happened that way.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, we have established something akin to a friendship with another person on this island.
Yeah.
Maybe it turns to our advantage just to leave things as they lay.
Yeah. You know what? You know, maybe sometimes when we make decisions like this, Saol, we should think about. So what would Nilrem do right now, right?
Oh. He'd kill the dryad.
Yeah, so I think what he would do is he would burn down the tree and then like behead the dryad, right? So I think what we should think about sometimes when we make these decisions is we think about that answer, like what would Nilrem do, and then we do the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I wish Nilrem thought like that too. Do what Nilrem doesn't. Choose the peace option. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Meadow will come over and place a hand on Sail's shoulders. I guess she has to kind of reach up because she's kind of short. I see what he spoke of so often about you. It may take some time to get through to the wisdom, but there it lies within you. A path, clear as day, sometimes obscured by clouds and distant rolling thunders, but I see the path forward for you.
Thank you. And then I will awkwardly shuffle away as fast as possible.
Yeah, you know what, Meadow? Thank you for talking to me the other day. I actually really enjoy that. Archie has a bunch of necklaces that are like around his neck that he picked up from various like looting things that we did. Like, remember how whenever we like would loot something, Archie would like pick up one of the necklaces. Archie will take one of the necklaces and he will offer it to.
Describe for me the necklace you offer her. You've picked a whole bunch of them, so you can sort of make one up. But
yeah, I'll take one of the ones that's like a little bit less fancy. I know I have a bunch of ones that are like big, like gold fucking chains. One of the ones that's a little bit more fragile, maybe a little bit more delicate, you know. I'll offer that to her as like a. You know, Archie doesn't really know how to do this like peaceful negotiation and making allies thing, but he's seen in diplomacy that's kind of what you do, so he's gonna offer that to her.
She will hold it in her hands and turn it over a few times before looking up at you and giving you a bow and saying, "Thank you for the gift, Archie B. Alder. I will treasure it." And with that, she reaches down and like picks up a strand of grass and sort of weaves it through the chains of the necklace, and then sort of wraps it around her arm, starting at the wrist and like wrapping it up towards the elbow. And a normal necklace would just fall off, but after she's woven it with the grass, it sort of holds as more of like a bracer or a bangle or some sort of band that wraps around her arm and holds in that position. And she'll turn it over a few times to admire it and step into her tree and come back out a half fraction of a second later. It almost looks like her front foot is leaving the tree while her back foot is still entering the tree. And she will step out with a bow and hand it to you. A gift for you as well.
Like a bow and arrow bow?
Mm-hmm. Like a bow and arrow bow. This is the very one Euclid has been playing with for so long. Please. For him or for you as you see fit.
Well, I'll step over to Saol real quick. So, like, the Euclid guy, he's a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
He's waking up.
He seems like he's been having a good time over there, no?
I mean, Archie,
Yes.
do the men...
Would say he enjoyed his time as much as one can. The Fey realm is a little different, a little harder for humans to adjust to. But you could simply ask him how he feels. You need not let me relay him. I would not speak for him. I can only know the part of his heart he has shown me.
Euclid, how do you feel about continuing to serve on our ship right now?
He kind of looks at you with his hazy eyes, and he answers you by, like, wringing out his arms until they're like a big flat T, and then, like, wrapping them in front of himself like this, and he gives you a deep nod.
I'm gonna take that as a devout yes, Captain. And I welcome you back to the crew, Euclid. Saol, can you do anything with this bow?
I'll take it and like take a quick inspection of it.
It is sort of a weirdly shaped bow. It doesn't look like there's any cut marks on it. In fact, it looks like it kind of tapers to its ends naturally. Like you can see the fibers of the wood, the grains of the wood coming together and smoothing out. It's got like baby bark all the way out to the very tips on, but like it's an impossible shape. No human could have made a bow. This looks like it was grown as a whole and full plant in the shape of a perfect bow already. It's like fucking weird elf magic or some fey bullshit.
Say, this
it's
looks like we could sell this for a lot of fucking coin, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, true. And like she said, Euclid's been playing with it. Maybe I'll like look at him. I'm like, does he have like, if you use a bow for like 10 years, you'll develop a thing called like, I think it's called like archer shoulder, where one of your shoulders will like be misaligned with the other. Does he have archer shoulder?
You look at him and yeah, you know, he does look a little bit stronger. Those same muscles that you would
really
use
smart.
for archery do seem more enhanced on him.
I think
Do we have any arrows?
No? Yeah, there's probably some on the boat, actually. I would imagine you keep a cache of arrows with you on the boat. You can find one.
Yeah, I'll give the bow to Euclid and I'll ask him to play with it, and I'll give him a couple of arrows and ask him just to like, I'll line up some old oh my god, rum bottles on the shore of the river.
Yes, he will fight like a third level fighter that's specialized in archery.
All right, that's pretty good.
Not bad, not bad.
This is a fantastic gift.
We don't see anything special about the arrows or the bow in
The bow
particular.
and the arrows seem to be ordinary, normal, non-magical. It seems like Euclid himself is actually just the source of all the power.
Cool. It's just like a really well-made, exquisite bow that is incredibly unique. Perhaps it is something for Euclid to keep, or, well, like you said, maybe we'll sell it. We'll see.
You seem fascinated, both of you. Would you like to come and practice yourselves?
Like, I'll kind of giggle and back away. It's like, no, I'm fine, thank you.
The fey creature stays very close to her tree. She does not follow after you as you back away. Then I sense it is time for you to go, and for me to return to my place. Farewell then, new friends. Euclid, do tend your gardens, she calls after him, and he nods and goes, yes, yes. But why has the rain stopped? And looks towards the sky, very confused and perplexed.
Was it raining a few minutes ago?
Yes, it rained. Rain is. But is no longer.
Listen, dude, I think we're really gonna have to get you a good night's sleep, my dude.
And as you look back, the Dryad is gone. You can hop in your boat, and you can sail back and meet up with the rest of the party. And we can pick up more Tides of Death wherever we are in the actual storyline some months later, after all your dreams and memories are stolen and blah, blah, blah. And that'll about wrap us up for today. But before we end our session today, I would like to ask our party a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Let's start with Archie. Did you gain things or did you lose things throughout this session? What happened?
I think Archie had the first therapy session of his life. And I think it gave him, if anything, the ability to kind of question his emotional state a little bit. Because I think before that, looking inward like that was not really a thing that Archie would do. Ever. So just a few questions like that are sometimes enough to get a person to kind of start introspecting a little bit about his feelings, and Archie was able to do that, and I think that might be valuable down the line. Also, I think his bond with Saol has been strengthened a little bit, and he, for the first time, was in a pretty significant leader position since joining the Crimson Fists, and he's gained a lot of confidence in that, I think.
Great. Saol, I don't have such a fun question for you. I have a less comfortable one. You keep running into things that are trying to warn you off of whatever course it is that you're on. You have like visions of heads being taken from port to port on ships, and now there's ghosts who are telling you to run away, and there's like weird spirits that are approaching and attacking you. Do you at all feel like you might be aligned with some sort of devil or demon or like evil monster who is manipulating you for its own uses? Or are these people just a bunch of bitches?
There is sort of a shadow of that thought, but it's also like he's like what's the word I'm looking for here? He's in denial a little bit. He's kind of obviously, I'm me. I'm the good guy. Obviously, I'm I'm on the right side of things. I know what I'm doing. I can make deals with gods. I am a little bit out of my depth, but like, I couldn't be on the wrong side of things. How could I be? I'm me. I know who I am. I know what that sort of thing. It's sort of a confident ignorance is probably the best way to describe it.
Speaking of confident ignorances, you had some questions today about like how do we know the gods are real and made the world, and I think your lack of proper clerical training is beginning to show when we talk about gods, because you were just sort of almost drowned and then gifted all these divine powers. But there are a lot of questions about the true nature of reality and what everything means that elude you, that don't seem to elude these other clerics. Is that something that Saol feels is like a weakness that needs to be shored up, or is everyone else like, these are not important things? Does this like classical cleric training provide enlightenment, or does it provide like a prison by specifically framing a mindset in one direction?
I think in some way, Saol is aware that everyone makes a bargain with a god in a sense, in the same way that he did, and that he sees like the bargain he made with Rohi was, my life for some task was essentially the bargain, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's his lens of truth for other religions. So like, if you're following Gepa, it's because you made a bargain. It's because you got something out of it, and she got something out of you, and it's like there's an exchange of value there, and these people are just using it to further themselves, while I'm actually doing something noble. I'm taking on the White Prince.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the like education and training into all the normal divine stuff isn't really important for you then. You don't need to know like the right hymns and the right prayers and which gods birthdays fall on which days and why this one god looks this way in the sky. Like that stuff is not important to your goal or your purpose. It's not a tool you need.
It is important insofar as like blending in. Like when he was in the village, he kind of praised the Gepa, but like he's not, to an extent. There's like a little bit of like knowledge there, but no one was around, so he'll like freely express his doubts and challenges to like the orthodoxy.
Excellent. Well, that's all the questions I have for you guys. I think there might be questions for the Patreon from the Patreon, but only MrMouton has access to those dark secrets, so we'll have to do them next time. Would you guys have anything to say before we head out for the night, guys?
Nope. Use your Twitch Primes. Check out the Reddit thread, and thanks for watching.
That's everything.
That's it. Good night. See you next week.
See you then.